Hey, y'all. Grace and peace, everybody. We back up in the building. Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. You know what we're about to do. We got to do our Candaspiracy watch party again. She's planning to go live at 5 o'clock. So I said I'm going to get on here just a few minutes early, say what's up to everybody. Make sure you got your bingo board, all that kind of stuff like that. I've heard from people that they don't like that I mock Candace like I do, that I should take this seriously because she's doing serious investigation and the such. So I'm going to let you all know that we will no longer be doing Candaspiracy bingo after today because I have to take Candace seriously because she is she's a truth seeker and she's doing a heavy investigation. So and that's it. So in honor of that tonight, we will have our memorial bingo board. We won't be doing this anymore after today because Candace is a truth seeker and me mocking her is making light of the great work that she's doing. All right. So in honor of that, let's go ahead and go. Betrayal, feds, military, my sources, weird, patchwork theories, Trump, my gut, vibes. Got to go with the vibes. Number one podcast, calling an expert a liar. I have messages. I have proof, but you got to come back tomorrow. I'm just asking questions. Tip line, shout out. Leaks, grift, TPUSA, random text, Kanye West, I feel, best friends, CIA, and a random person, whether they get doxxed or random person just gets a shout out one way or another. That is it tonight. Y'all, I think this is going to be a good one. I feel good about this one. I'm feeling good. Right. You right there with me. I'm feeling like this is going to be a good bingo. You know what? I've decided if I get blackout bingo, we will not memorialize the Candy Rot game. We will continue the Candy Rot game. So if I get blackout bingo, and by blackout bingo, I mean whatever I choose to make that, we will continue. So the person that said that I'm not taking Candace seriously, the person that said that I'm making fun of this serious investigation, that I'm not she's a truth seeker, kick rocks. This is a Jay Witt podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a good time tonight. Whoa, we're all way in Germany, y'all. Dog, how do you say hello? Now, Dankeschön is thank you. I forgot how to say hello in German. I knew that when I was in college. Pretend like Dankeschön means hello. Pretend like it is, even though I know I'm wrong. Just lie to me. Okay, so you already got bingo. Shout out to Mind Brew Chaos. Already got bingo. Shout out. I don't know how you already got bingo, but I do appreciate the $10 super. She already got bingo. Wow. For that kind of stuff, you can't hear me? What am I saying? For that, hold on, let me listen to myself over here. Let me jump over and listen to it on the stream. Sorry about that. I might be talking a little low or something. I don't know. Yeah. I was talking to a content creator today. All right, I'm gonna turn it up. I'm gonna turn it up some. It does sound a little low in my ears. Thank you so much, Mind Brew. Let's just listen real quick, see what it says. All right. I was talking to a content creator today, and she threw out a theory that I was like, I can't beat that. So I want y'all to hear this real quick. I haven't written it down. I haven't put it together in written form yet, but I just want to throw this out there. What if, I know this is crazy talk though. I want y'all to just work with me. Roll with me now. Roll with me. What if Candace actually did delete Charlie Kirk? I know, crazy talk. Crazy talk. What if she actually did? Wouldn't that make sense for why she's making all of these claims to get you to look over there and look over there, look up in the air, go to your local rental car agency? What if it really? You know what? I've thrown this out before, Mr. B. I just didn't want to give it any credence. Somebody called me today and she convinced me. Like, yo, we might be watching a live version of The Usual Suspect, that movie with Kevin Spacey. I think we're watching a live version of The Usual Suspect. Now, of course, the Candies, because the Candies get premium seating here at the church, so we always make sure Candies get up here to the front of the church. They are clearly going to say that I am wrong, that I have no evidence, that I have no proof. And I'm sure that's what they're going to say. Wow, you actually remember his name. Mr. B is crazy. How do you remember that? I just didn't think anybody would know the name. Wow, shout out. Okay. But the Candies are going to say, well, I'm crazy. Jason, you're crazy. There's no evidence to that point. And I think that's the reason. You can't prove that Candace that Candace didn't do it. You can't prove it. There's no way you can prove that Candace is not involved in the deletion of Charlie Kirk. You can't. And so just like that, and sadly, just like we've been watching and commentating for weeks on end, she can't prove what she's trying to prove. So maybe my theory, the thought, albeit I thought it was kind of crazy when I thought about it. I was like, no, it might be right. Maybe, is it possible that Candace is involved in Charlie Kirk's deletion? Is that a lap too far? Guten Tag. Okay. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Y'all reminded me of that word. Thank you so much. What do we have here? Real quick. Mind Brew coming up in here already with the $10. But guess what? Texas Bully Mom said, look, I got a two-way bingo already. What have I said? Good gracious. Thank you so much. Captain Jax, thank you so much. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game. Hey, by the way, if you want to play bingo with us, grab your bingo board. The link should be down in the description, or if the mods can make sure that it's in the description, because Jason was talking too fast and did not put it in there. I think it's in the description. It's supposed to be. Shout out to Amethyst Angel. Hope everything is well with you, sister. With the 5, she says Guten Tag, which is good day. Guten Morning is good morning. Guten Abend is good evening. How do I know? Ich bin in Brocken Deutsch. I speak a little German. Nice. So Deutschet. Look, I feel like I'm speaking in tongues. Like I need an interpreter up in here. Look, we don't speak in tongues without an interpreter up here at the J-Wit podcast. So wait, do you think is more the crush or the unusual suspect? JD, I know JD is definitely team the crush. I think we've talked about this offline, I believe. Or do you think the usual suspect? Which one do you think it is? I'm starting to lean toward that usual suspect. It just hit me again today, like, yo, we might be watching it in real time. Now, Candace has moved her start time back. Now, why did she do that to me? She didn't move the start time back. So that means I have time to clean the palate, if you will, and expose y'all to some comedy. So we have Ami, of course, we got Ami queued up and ready to go. We also got Christian ready to go. Look, I barely speak English. In the words of James Brown, I speak Caraza. I do not speak German. Fatal Attraction. Oh, okay, I'm gonna make a poll. Okay, thank you so much. We're gonna watch we got a little palate cleanse, and I'm gonna make a poll. We're gonna see what y'all think. Which one is she more like? Oh man, that's a good one. All right, so I think we watched this the other day. You know what? I'm gonna give Ami a break today. I really like Ami, but there's another cat who did an excellent job of discussing Candace, and I think it would be worth bringing him on. No, wait, what'd I do with it? Oops, all that smack talking, Jason. That's what you get. See, this is how you know it's a live show. That's how we know this is not well produced at all. We over here straight missing it. Shout out to, how long is this clip? Oh, it's going to be a little too long. Darn it. We might have to pull it in anyway. I thought he did a great job. Shout out to Neesum Black. And let me pull him in. We're gonna give him a little bit of room today. We're going to let him start the show off today for us, because I thought he did an excellent job bringing up some of the conspiracies that we've been looking at. And, he feels that Candace is threatening him. So let's bring it in and let him talk about it. Let's go. Green hearts in the chat when y'all can hear.
Candace Owens, and I have to break the silence on that. She has been threatening my life. She's been threatening my life. I've been trying to be quiet and silent about this, but at this point, I just can't let it go on anymore. Candace has been harassing me. She's been threatening to unalive me, and I can't hold back. Last night, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very, very serious matter to talk with you about. Candace Owens, and I have to break the silence on that. She has been threatening my life. She's been threatening my life. I've been trying to be quiet and silent about this, but at this point, I just can't let it go on anymore. Candace has been harassing me. She's been threatening to unalive me, and I can't hold back. Last night was really the last night that I could take this. I was at home, and I noticed, as I looked up, I saw a plane. And when I saw that plane, it said Cairo Airlines on it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why would Cairo Airlines be flying over my house at this time of night? So I started to think, and I started to see the deeper messages behind it. Cairo starts with a C that ends with an O. And I started to think that maybe CO, what is CO? And it hit me instantly. Candace Owens. And I felt as if she was spying on me. And then airlines, she's after me. And I started to see all of this, and I put two and two together. And I can't say for definite that I know, or that I know, but I know that I know. And I know something else. If you believe something like that, then you are a nut. And you're just as nutty as everybody who follows and listens to everything that she has to say. But you know what? Once you have the #1 platform or podcast, you can say whatever you want and people will believe you. And unfortunately, that's what's been going on with Candace Owens, you guys. Obviously, I'm saying all that I said at the beginning as a joke. And that's obvious for, people with the right mind, people that are, sensible individuals know that what I just was saying was completely outrageous and outlandish. But, with her, she can say whatever she wants. And not only that, she can move the goalposts whenever she wants. And she can make up whatever she wants. And people would just, believe it. Believe it. Here's a tweet from Candace, okay? She says that the worldwide Zionist mafia has explicitly and implicitly threatening me. They've been threatening her and Tucker Carlson for almost a year now. The entire world is tuning in and is aware that this is happening. Why is our government allowing it? Right? So the obvious question has to be asked here. Where are the receipts, Candace? How are they threatening you? Show us the emails, show us the videotapes, show us something to let us know that they've been threatening you. I mean, and what does it have to do with anything? How are they threatening you? Listen, because things like this that are so huge, fantastic claims have to have fantastic evidence.
Come on.
And this is a crazy and preposterous idea, but she does it anyway. Candace again on a show, unfortunately, and I'm sorry to keep covering her, and I'm sorry you have to keep seeing her, but if we don't call it out, then it will continue. This is Candace moving the goalposts once again.
It was after the public execution of sitting President JFK in 1963 that the CIA established Operation Mockingbird. Deep state assassinations require deep state solutions. They spent an offensive amount of money to control the press and to control the narrative, to put an end to the public asking common sense questions about what actually transpired on that fateful day in Dallas. To put it simply, the deep state declared a psychological warfare campaign on the people. In effect, their soldiers were the journalists and the writers. Their goal, obviously, to get people to just stop asking questions, to almost criminalize asking questions via methods of gaslighting. Fast forward to 2025, and they're running the exact same playbook.
If you want to ask questions, ask good ones. Just ask good questions, right? And when you're asking a question, actually be asking a question. Don't insinuate things. Just ask the question. Or even if you want to imply something, that's totally fine. But be able to back up what it is that you're implying. We have watched this series go on. Those of you who have actually watched it, those of us on the outside fringe just waiting for the highlights of these clips to come out. Now, we have watched her move the goalposts over and over again. What happened to Brigitte Macron? What happened? Candace, what happened? I thought you weren't going to stop until you cracked the egg. All type of, I mean, and she just, is trying to, I guess to some degree, get herself into these situations where she gets into a lawsuit. And it may happen soon here. I don't know what's going to happen. TPUSA, Erica, all these guys are very big on free speech. I don't think, at some point this is free speech, and keep watching this because you're going to hear the head of Charlie Kirk's security talk about free speech and the difference between that and what Candace is doing. So please keep watching. But Candace here is insinuating that you're not allowed to ask questions, and it's not the truth. We're always allowed to ask questions. It's just whether or not the question is a good question or not. Let her go.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
I'm just going to jump in real quick because we've always heard this, that there is no dumb question. That's not true. That's the biggest lie. There are some dumb questions. There are. That's just it. There's a reality that there's some dumb questions. So shout out to Brother Black over here because I think he's right on the money. Let's finish up. Let's go.
Assassinated in broad daylight, and they immediately deployed their troops to criminalize asking questions.
Nobody's doing that.
What are you supposed to take from the everyone? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think the implication was dramatic, and then I think a lot of people reading the tweets would assume that she meant Erica Kirk.
Either Erica Kirk is evil and was in on it, or Candace Owens is an evil.
I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she was doing right now.
Post-Charlie, there was so much unity, so much excitement, so much resurgence in faith and newfound interest in faith, and that now there is discord, so many distractions, and that is just like Satan, who comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He is called the great accuser. He is the sower of discord, the author of confusion.
The reason I haven't waited on things is I'm an eyewitness to events, and they said, don't comment on things because anything you say can mess that up. I don't want to mess up any trial for the person who did this.
That's 1,000% right. But Candace Owens is well within her rights to suggest certain things and all this, and she has the right to free speech and all that. That's fine. She's right to ask questions. I just think it is hurtful and not helpful when you cross a line to strongly suggest somebody's guilty of something for which you have no evidence.
Challenge accepted, Frank Turek. Let's go Max today.
Let's go Max today. Let's go Max today. Because today didn't finish. As I'm sure you already know, today didn't finish. It was the, continuation of the series. And this is what, it's hard for me. I have to keep bringing this up, but you can't tell yet that you're being gaslit? You can't tell yet? All of you Candace fans out there, I need the front screen. You can't tell yet that you are being gaslit by Candace? All this has to be in another series. Oh, please tune in tomorrow. I'm going to reveal something else. I mean, it does not take a rocket scientist to see that this woman is constantly making the stuff up as she goes, moving the goalposts. Check it out. First it was Israel, then it's TPUSA. It's insinuated that it's Erica, but she didn't say it. She just asking questions, right? And now there was a mysterious Egyptian planes.
So you have to remember that Charlie landed into Salt Lake City at 9:23 a.m. local time. I suspect that if he had instead landed into Provo, he would have recognized the blue Egyptian plane.
Ladies and gentlemen, two things I'd like to say. First off, I'm sorry again that we have to continue watching this. But anyway,
This is funny to me.
moving of the goalposts is one thing. You see that the lips are a little bit off. It's not 100% synced on this. I apologize about that. But sometimes when you're so busy telling lies, the lie may leave before the mouth starts moving in the first place. Number two, though, however, is that what you'll see is that there's never any definite thing that's going on. It's mystery after mystery after mystery. And really what this is this is a soap opera. Reality TV ain't reality. And I'm just telling you, for all those, for me, I've been on, reality shows, some that's aired, some that have not aired, and whatever. And I can tell you right now, it's fake. I can tell you it's fake. And I can tell you that this individual right now is fake. I don't know what she's like in her personal life. I heard great things about who Candace was when she's not in front of the spotlight. But whatever it is, and maybe this personification of whoever she is or what she's projecting, it's completely disgusting. And the reason why this is even worse is because, you could play, there's times in WWF wrestling or WWE, it was WWF when I grew up. Now, where, sometimes, The Rock's the bad guy, or Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's the bad guy, or the good guy, or you had all these different characters, and that was fine. It was just wrestling, you know what I'm saying? We pick up in the next couple of days, we'll see WrestleMania, we'll see, whatever the case is. However, when it comes to this personification and putting on such a show like Candace is right now, it actually leads to real life people being hurt in their actual lives. And that's what makes the person, regardless of who she is behind all of this, completely evil. Completely evil. And it does not matter. Not saying a person's above repenting and all that other stuff. I know everybody loves to say that, oh, she could come back. I'm not dealing with that right now. What we're dealing with right now is the disgusting behavior that we're seeing right now that is actually putting other people's life in danger. With all of this nonsense. Egyptian planes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's finish talking about the Egyptian planes.
Okay. It's not every day that you see an Egyptian military craft. It is now my well-informed opinion that he would have looked at that plane and he would have recognized the blue plane and he would have instantly realized that something was amiss. And now I'm going to explain to you very carefully why I suspect that it is highly likely that Charlie would have recognized that plane. Okay, tail number SUBND, the blue plane. A pregnant mommy sleuth who was locked into this investigation discovered something that me and my team had missed. I consider her, obviously, and all of you to be my decentralized intelligence agents. Anyway, she sent me a rather urgent email, and I'm obviously protecting.
I personally think that's part of how Candace is her draw to these people is by making them, like you're part of my special task force. You're part of the special SEAL team, Candace, or whatever. I think that's part of her draw. And people feel like they can do something, they can be a part of something. And everybody wants to be a part of something. Nobody wants to be left out, whether it be from dodgeball or work project or, of course, this right here. So I think that's really what her appeal is that. But I could be wrong. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Shout out to the most electrifying live chat on the planet. Let's get back to it.
Her identity for reasons that are clear. But I want you to know that this discovery is due entirely to her. She is the person that in this regard went max for Charlie when I missed something. Her email stated in effect that I was only partially right about the plane tracking Charlie, that she had done an additional 15 hours of research and was able to discern that the person the planes were actually tracking for years was Erica. Not Charlie, but Erica was the one.
What could you do with 15 hours? Shout out in the chat. What could you do if you had just an additional 15 hours? Because that woman invested 15 hours in following Candace's foolish rabbit trail. And by the way, I just got an X update that this has been completely debunked. The snakes on the plane has been totally debunked. So this woman wasted 15 hours. What could you do as a pregnant woman? Spent 15 hours. Pregnant woman's 15 hours is different than normal people's 15 hours. You got a lot going on, right? What could you be doing with 15 hours?
Guys, I'm sorry it's so hard. I'm sorry it's so hard. I'm so hard, but we are gonna make it through this. We're gonna make it through, and we're going to get through this, and we'll get through it together.
We're gonna do it, man. We're gonna do it, man.
Egyptian planes were tracking Erica Kirk. I don't I don't even have anything to say about that. I'm just going to repeat what she said. There were Egyptian planes that have been, I don't know however many months, years, whatever she's saying, have been tracking Erica Kirk. Okay.
Being tracked by these planes. And indeed, it turns out that she was correct. She discovered that between 2022 and September of 2025, both of those aircrafts, SUBTT, the yellow plane, and SUBND, the blue plane, showed 68 overlaps with Erica's documented locations. Okay. 68 overlaps. I have since been able to add now 73 times that this overlapped. Okay. And 29 of those instances also happened to include Charlie. Charlie was also present. And that's what I was stumbling upon when I was looking into this. I was like, why is this plane where Charlie is? The flights were majority clustered within 5 states: Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Delaware, and Utah. And it's a pattern that she believes is statistically not random. I'm telling you, this information has been completely verified.
It's been completely verified.
Totally verified.
Completely verified.
Totally.
By who? Who verified it, Candace? Who verified all this information? Who sat there with this log? You're telling, and this is what I'm saying. Crazy people make other crazy people.
Fact.
If she's going to, on her platform, she has given birth to people who would sit 15 hours of their life logging and looking at if there was some correlation between Egyptian flights and Erica Kirk's whereabouts. This is what she's creating, right? And then it's been verified, right? And anything you say, I'm supposed to believe. You can show a spreadsheet, you can do whatever it is, and then I'm supposed to believe this has already been verified. By who? Never mind the fact that we don't even know what this matters or how it matters to Charlie. Like, but why and how is it verified? Egyptian planes fly all the time, right? Was that the only airline? That's the other question. Is that the only airline was Egyptian? I mean, you know what I was going to say. You can't make this stuff up, but I think that's not true, actually. I
am showing you this on a spreadsheet now. These are all the instances in which this plane, 68 instances that this plane crossed with Erica. And I'm also going to say this includes overseas as well. Okay. So my instant question becomes, why?
All right, y'all. And am I to now believe that she's not the actual suspect? Come on, man. Like, why would you be doing this if you weren't the actual one that did it? Tell me, why would you be doing all of this if you weren't the actual suspect? And let us even go a little bit further. The security chief put out a bunch of information that Candace can run with. A ton of information that Candace can run with. She chooses to run with a plane. I did not hear that brother talk about a plane.
I didn't Turning Point acknowledge that this plane was familiar to them. When I was taking all of these figurative online bullets, someone could have easily said something, right? That's kind of a repeat thing in this investigation. Josh Hammer lies, I get attacked, Turning Point just stays silent. They know he's lying, but they allow the lie to flow. Alex Clark lies, I get attacked, I'm telling the truth. Turning Point knows it, but they kind of allow this like Catholic thing, lie to flow. And the influencers are allowed to lie. Nobody at Turning Point ever just steps to clarify that I'm onto something or I'm telling the truth about something.
Because they don't want to verify. They're not going to involve themselves in that. If you go back and listen, when Candace does that kind of thing, she says, Josh Hammer lied, Alex Clark lied. Candace has a very fragile, in my opinion, a very fragile ego. And she doesn't like when people push back on her. That's why whenever she gets upset and she starts talking about things in the past, she brings up people that I feel have hurt her. She'll talk about Allie Beth. She'll talk about Josh Hammer. Whatever happened with Seth Dillon. She'll bring up these people. She doesn't bring up anybody else randoms. There are always people that I feel like maybe have name recognition or notoriety and somehow or another did her harm by their calling her out, speaking against her, whatever like that. I don't know what Mikey McCoy did. I know what Rob McCoy did. Rob McCoy was the first pastor to get out there and tell Candace to shut her pie hole. And so that's why he's public enemy number one. And of course, his son is public enemy number 1.25, and she's going to keep trying to give him that work. So it's just interesting, but I want to bring this back in. We're going to let Neeson go. Let's go, brother.
Maybe nobody at Turning Point actually wants to disrupt the investigation of what's going on with Charlie. So nobody wants to engage with you, Candace. I mean, could it not be, I'm just asking, could it not be that those at Turning Point actually just don't want to respond to you, to give it any more light than what it needs to, just in case the jury or anybody else may come across your videos or any of your theories? Could it be that there's a gag order on those who were around, on the company itself? Like, could it not be? You see, and that's what it is. It's sort of like, she gets to say all this and look like, oh, they're just not responding. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's putting her in her place. And she knows that there's a reason why they're not responding and they can't respond to it. Not to mention the fact that they're actually grieving. They're actually still trying to build up Charlie's legacy. And as you and all the other ones are busy trying to tear down Charlie's legacy. It is so, so unfortunate. I have a clip here from Charlie's head of security detail. And I usually don't like to do clips within a clip, but you have to see this. It's a little extensive, but I want to go through this with all of you. Watch it and see the pain of this man. See the pain of these people for real. And you can tell the difference between something that's authentic and something that's not. Because as Candace would like you to believe, she's mourning. This is what she looks like as she is mourning. It's just hard. Everybody's worried about how, oh, look at how Erica looks. How is she being real or not? And they won't accept the fact that people mourn differently, that people are the way that people deal with challenges. No, it's okay. Because Candace is really mourning, right? That's what's really going on. Check out this clip from the head of Charlie's security detail.
Or attached to any type of foreign entity. It's one of those, it's crap on its best day. You can go back and look at his speeches, and Charlie was an absolute supporter of Israel.
Why wasn't there a sniper on the roof?
We have concerns with rooftops.
Oh, listen to this.
We got a location that we're not keen with.
This is unbelievable.
We know what our responsibility is. We know what our statutory authority is. We know that we can't go up and set up our guys in sniper observer positions. It's not going to be allowed. And so we have some correspondence with the chief of the school. Why he won't stand up like a man and admit this, I don't know. But he's watching a bunch of men lose their careers. And he's okay with it.
Mm.
On Monday before, this correspondence went to Chief Long. Hello, Chief Long. We received this message today from the student group. There is a student roof access pretty close to where CK will be set up at the Utah Valley. The Sorensen Center has a couple of staircases that go up to walkways on the roofs. And so he comes back and he says, you want access to the roof? And came back and said, I was told students have access above us. If this is true, it would be nice to either have it controlled access or allow one of my guys to be there as well, if possible.
Now, you see this from what we're seeing. This is how things really happen, right? It doesn't have to be always some crazy thing. As he said at the beginning of this clip, we don't have to think it was some foreign entity. All we have to look at this is say, wait, something went wrong. There was some negligence. Same thing that happened when it came to Donald Trump and Buckler, right? And thank God President Trump didn't die. But there was negligence, obviously here, from the head of the school or whoever the police staff or whatever who sent this message, right? Says, oh, we got it covered. Did they cover it? No, they did not cover it, right? So these things can easily be explainable by people who are sensible, who can give over what actually happened, where the failures and where the mistakes actually happen. I'm not against conspiracy when it calls for conspiracy, but for you to make up things and to just pull them out of a hat, that's the biggest difference.
He comes back, and his last correspondence was, "I got you covered." What else am I to do? When a command level person from an accredited police department says, "I've got this area."
Jeez. Have you been in who is that?
So we know what happens from here, y'all. And I want to real quick because Candace has actually gotten started. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to flip over here real quick and check her out. We're going to see what happens. I'm sure it's going to be earth shattering. So jump in, everybody. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Let's go.
All right, you guys. So we received a couple of weeks ago a very thorough tip regarding Charlie's assassination and the Egyptian planes. Now, what is even more compelling about this tip is that this individual who works with or for government sent it before I had figured out that the Egyptian planes were tracking Erica and Charlie. Now, the individual also focused on something that at first seems to me to be very micro to the situation, and now it seems quite macro.
Of course.
And it's an answer perhaps to the question, what was the Egyptian military plane, which left Provo on the morning of Charlie's assassination, doing in Delaware, actually?
Oh, my gosh.
We should figure that out. Welcome back to Candace.
All right. Now we got, oh, man, we about to, now we got, now Delaware is catching it. Now, hold on. Let's see who's an astute student. Why is Delaware going to be interesting? Why do I think Delaware might be interesting? I don't know yet. I haven't followed this. What do you think she's going to tag into this? Hold on. Let me see. Joe Biden. No. Oh, wait. Did I see it? No. Why is Delaware? Well, of course, hot air. That's for sure. Let's see. Come on, wait. There it is right there. The Macrones. That's right. That's where the Macrones are suing her from. Is she going to try to throw some kind of shade on the Macrones case? I don't know. We're going to find out together. This is craziness already. We haven't even made it a whole 12 seconds yet. And she done already, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Let's go, everybody.
There are so many elements of this story that as time goes on are clicking into place. Things that initially maybe we don't consider, that you go, oh, wait a second. Why didn't I consider that right off the jump, right? I was, of course, very surprised by the 2 Egyptian military aircraft that in general, just why were they here? Why were they there at all?
You do realize that these are private jets. These are not like F-16 Tomcats, right? These are not warplanes. These are private jets. Again, you can say they're Egyptian private jets, but she keeps trying to put that military aspect into it as if they're like warplanes, and that's not what they are. Okay, I just want to make sure y'all are aware of that.
And not even for 1 second
Not
did
1
I
second.
stop and think, is this even a routine flight path at all? Like, why would these jets, ostensibly filled with government-level Egyptians,
That's
right?
jets.
Particularly the yellow jet, tail number SUBTT, which kept overlaying, sometimes even for days, in Delaware. Why would they do that? Why would that plane be doing that?
I don't know. Tell us
Pull
why.
up that timeline again that I put together of you guys of the blue jet and the yellow jet. And we virtually in all the stops, you can just scroll through this. Like, we kept noticing that yellow plane was going through Paris, it was going to Wichita, but very often it was stopping in Wilmington. Like, what goes on in Wilmington, Delaware?
Here it comes.
If you fly private, even if you fly public, it's not exactly a hub. People aren't like, let me route through Wilmington to go overseas. It's not a thing. The person who emailed me claimed to be a solid source of what that flight was doing.
Of course.
And he claimed, or she claimed, that he or she was so solid that they challenged me to find other people in government, people that were working in federal agencies and people that work at the State Department, to confirm what he had said. And I did. People that I trusted. I went to spoke with them, waited a while. That's why this email came in weeks ago, but we're just telling you about it now. And they confirmed that what this individual was saying was true. And that's why I am presenting it today, despite the fact that the person who sent this email was clear this information is quite dangerous. Now, to remind you guys so that you are understanding what we are working through here with a lot of information that is known to virtually none of us, on the morning of Charlie's assassination, the plane that had initially carried over the 12 or 14 quote unquote Egyptians 6 days earlier, that plane departed, the yellow plane departed on the morning at 7:14 a.m. local time from Provo, Utah, and it headed to Wilmington, Delaware. Okay, it arrived in Wilmington, Delaware at 11:51 a.m. Eastern. So that's at around 9:51 a.m. Utah time. Okay, Charlie's going to get shot at 12:23. This plane has landed into Wilmington at what would be 9:51 a.m. So about 2.5 hours before Charlie is shot. And then, for whatever reason, these Egyptians decided to stay in Wilmington, Delaware for a night until the following day. I don't know. Where did they sleep? Where did they go? Again, what goes on in Wilmington, Delaware? Because they departed September 11th.
Oh my gosh.
At 7:56 a.m.
Oh gosh.
That means that we can definitively rule out that this was just a fuel stop, right? Nobody's like, let me fuel up my private military jet and sleep on the plane. So there was something
She
in
said sleep on the plane
that held the interest of our Middle Eastern people that are here for some reason. Well, like I said, someone emailed us.
Well, at least the Egyptians are getting a shout out. At least Egypt is catching a few of the Israeli shade. So shout out to Egypt, man. Shout out. You know what? I'm giving you, because I don't think Kanye is going to make it. If you have Kanye West, we're going to give you Kanye West because you know what? I'm pretty sure that Egypt is taking some of the brunt of the Israel Mossad shenanigans. Shout out to this woman actually is serious. The part that is making it difficult is I think she is trolling me at this point. She's got to be trolling me. She's got to be trolling me. How does she have a bad? See, these are questions that normal people would ask. Like, how do you know that there were 18 people on a flight? That means you saw the manifest. How do you know that? That's a big jet to hold 18 people. That's a huge jet. Oh, wait, Mossad, yes, shout out. Candace is taking some of the pressure off of you today. Shout out to you, Mossad. Thank you so much for being a part of the chat. Somebody, maybe she was off her meds with Snap. You know, Snap has been off for a while. Maybe her medicine is tied to the Snap benefits, and maybe that's it. I'm hoping that's it. Can a man pray? Can a man hope? Because this is crazy work right here, y'all. This is insanity. She really is putting this together like this makes sense. I'm waiting. She's going to have to pop up and be like, surprise, I've been tricking y'all.
And we took our time vetting this tip because it seemed plausible, right?
Oh my gosh.
Plausible to us that you guys are thinking maybe this was meant to distract us. We're going to run down this rabbit hole.
Come on,
no,
Macrones.
that's not the case. We vetted it across multiple government agencies and to really the highest levels of government. So this is legit. I've printed it out and I'm going to read around some parts, removing some parts.
There is no possible way that you're going to get me to believe this. No. I think because she keeps mentioning rabbits, I do think that that's a tacit, hat tip to boiling rabbits. Fatal Attraction. I think that's the only way that this makes sense. Y'all, shout out to the Candies in the chat. Y'all, Candies, this is your girl.
To provide this individual, who, by the way, I have no idea who this is, but to
You
give
don't
him
even
and her even some more coverage. Even though they said that they were very thorough in making sure it wouldn't get back to them, but you never know. They're taking a tremendous risk. So I'm just going to read this to you guys, and I'm going to read it slow for comprehension because I had to read it slow myself for comprehension.
That's because you're slow.
It starts out with, Candace, I'm aware that you suspect the government and other entities are involved in the events leading up to and on September 10th.
Oh my gosh.
I'm aware that you also tied the plane, SUBTT, yellow plane, to this, and that you are receiving tips. You might have been wondering why SUBTT made so many visits to Wilmington, Delaware, out of all places, and I can personally answer that. What I can say about myself is blank, blank, blank. I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to read that. Some people may tell you that SUBTT stopped at Wilmington because it was, quote unquote, just maintenance. That is not true. The information I am giving you will implicate the FBI and various other government agencies all at the same time. I am passing this to you because you are honest enough to see this for what it is. You may put this in your notes and reveal this pattern publicly.
No, he gave it to you because you're the only idiot that's going to read it out loud. The only reason they gave it to you, Candace, is because you're the only buffoon to believe it from a random email. Lord have mercy. This is crazy.
But this, and then he talks about why this information is dangerous. So I'm going to skip.
Oh, dangerous.
And get to the information portion. The information portion reads this. As you know, on September 10th, an Egyptian government Dassault Falcon 7X tail number SUBTT came into Wilmington, Delaware. I tried to pull non-public movement data, and it came up empty. For me, this means that the arrival was processed under a diplomatic and dignitary category, which would not show up in the usual places. That in and of itself wouldn't be odd if we were talking about Andrews or Dulles airports. It's odd at Wilmington. You can't verify this next piece directly, but I can independently. I can confirm that blank uses vehicles which often leave and enter that airport when they do covert handoffs. Now, I have no affiliation with SUBTT, nor am I an operator anywhere near Egypt or its planes, but I do know that only federal vehicles are allowed access to private gates housing government planes. Because of this, I can guarantee you that the vehicles affiliated with this workspace arrived and left inside the same window as SUBTT. Government vehicles either pick up, monitor, or escort every government plane that lands there. So that's the standard. It's every single one. Feds don't just leave foreign government planes unwatched. It's a government plane, not a ghost plane. Someone has to come out, and we all know they're not going to just call an Uber. Given that I know most of the locations that these vehicles visit, I am entirely confident in stating that the plane and those vehicles are connected to 920 North King Street, which is at a place that is marketed also as 1 Rodney Square. Nearly every federal vehicle that visits the airport will pass through King Street at least once, because that is where the majority of the vehicles are ultimately stationed. We do this because it is discreet. The reason people don't know about this is because assets can be transferred to cars without diplomatic plates. You can't just do transfers with diplomatic plates out in the open, or it would immediately tie assets to government. That's why the fleet is either federal, unmarked, or local. So when I say government vehicles, what I'm really saying is they most likely immediately swapped the plates for local, but they still had federal clearance. I'm going to skip this because I think this could be...
I think you should skip it all. Call me crazy.
The whole idea is they get in, they have a meeting, they get out, the plates are then changed back, and they go back to a designated area. However, sometimes it is decided that they need to have a meeting in a more convenient spot, a meeting that's not in a car. That is what I am telling you happened with SUBTT. It obviously would be impossible for me to show you the evidence of these activities because I obviously can't do that. I obviously can't pull dash cam or cameras, but I am telling you that this is known among insiders, and if you want confirmation, you can ask Intel insiders of yours.
Anybody who watched James Bond movies from the 80s and 90s already knows that we are aware of this. They put it in plain sight. We've seen this. Y'all, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. She's literally reading this as if she...
and they will confirm that that is exactly what happened. You may ask why this happened in the first place, and I'll give you my best information.
Come on,
and here's where it
France.
gets big. In June of 1997,
If France gets brought up, y'all, everybody's getting blackout bingo. I don't care because I'm going to pass out on the floor laughing. If France gets brought up, I'm done. We're rage quitting. Bingo. Everybody gets blackout bingo. If she mentions France or the Macrons, it's over. Bingo's done.
the Department of Justice's own directory lists, quote, Wilmington Resident Office, 1 Rodney Square, Suite 404, 920 King Street, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. That is your line to know that it is a federal resident office that is at that exact address. You can open it yourself in this link and look for a page titled 675. Okay, we did that. We confirmed that. Wilmington Resident Office, Suite 404, 1 Rodney Square. And so we can confirm this is, like he says or she says, the Department of Justice's own directory list. Okay. Today, if you punch that address into public directories, you will find the DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency, at 920 North King Street. And at the same address, the United States Secret Service, 920 North King Street, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. Both are live. Both are at Suite 404. Both also publish phone numbers. In the Secret Service case, the agency's own 2025 field office list still shows Wilmington, Delaware. That means the suites that the Department of Justice owned in the 90s never actually went away. This eventually evolved into a multi-agency space in a commercial building. The building looks like if you decided to cut the 33 Thomas Street building in half. Seriously, if you Google image 33 Thomas Street in New York City, that's the building that Snowden leaked. Find one that makes it look brown and then compare it to 920 North King Street in Wilmington. It looks exactly like a mini version of the thing. The only difference is that 920 North King has glass windows. Now, you saw people on X saying that SUBTT has an alibi because it, quote unquote, aligns with a long-standing Falcon.
Candace is giving out so much pertinent information. I really hope that we hear this, y'all. Be careful.
FBI, open up!
I didn't know it was going to be that loud. Sorry about that. I mean, she's giving out information. I'm really hoping that the FBI rolls up in here. I need this to happen in real time. I need the FBI to open up. This is craziness, y'all. So instead of the most simplest answer that a Trantifa furry deleted Charlie Kirk, we're better poised to believe this, what's his name? Tom Clancy mystery, Jason Bourne identity with a Jacques Cousteau and Mr. Magoo mash up. That's what you want me to believe. I'm going to go with the FBI. I'm going to go with FBI open up. I don't know. Maybe they're punking. Maybe the FBI is punking her and they just want to see her read it. And they're all just like laughing. Like, I cannot believe she ran with this, guys. Yo, guys, she really is reading it. Listen, y'all, come over and look at this. This is crazy work.
Maintenance arrangement out of Wilmington that dates back to 1999. You remember that, guys? They told us, oh, they were just doing maintenance. This is maintenance here, maintenance there, scheduled maintenance. That's the part that really sent me because I know that's the part that really set me off because I know that you are right about the plane. And I also know the truth about this plane. Yes, Wilmington used to have a Dassault Falcon authorized center, but it shut down around 2021. Then, and this is verifiable, in December of 2024, a French aircraft finishing company called Satys, SATYS, announced that it was taking over the shuttered Wilmington Airport hangar. And every Delaware outlet said the same thing. Satys will invest a little over $1 million. And get this. So you see that? We are pulling that up. We have confirmed that that is true. This is a French company that said they were going to take over this hangar in Wilmington. The Delaware River and Bay Authority is the one that is making that deal. DRBA is a bi-state authority, except the key.
I know y'all are wondering where I am. Y'all call my wife, call my kids, tell them I love them. I have died on the floor. She has mentioned France. I'm dead, y'all. I'm dead. Everybody gets blackout bingo. Call my wife, call my kids. Tell them I love them. I'm dead. I cannot believe this. I'm dead. And here, I bequeath my hat to whoever just sent me a super chat. You can have my hat. It has my name on the back of it. Go forth. Love Jesus. Keep his commandments. Goodbye. Okay. I honestly, I literally fell out of my chair. Everybody's getting blackout bingo. Let's just go ahead and do that right now. Oh my gosh. I'm rage quitting my own bingo game. Everybody gets blackout bingo. All God's children get blackout bingo tonight. I don't even care what she says the rest of the night because I'm not going to be able to hear it because I'm going to be laughing too hard. How did this woman, we saw it coming a mile away. When she said Delaware, I said, it's coming. Viva la France. Viva la France. When she said Delaware, I said, she is going to bring up them doggone French. The French is about to catch it. This is how to, y'all, I don't care what anybody say, y'all. I'm knighting all of you. I'm deputizing all of y'all to wreak havoc on candies. If there's a candy here, I'm sorry. You get no duck and quarter tonight. You get no duck and quarter. I'll try to be nicer tomorrow. I'll try to, by God's grace, to be nicer next week. You get nothing tonight. This has got to be the dumbest thing. Okay, let's go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank y'all so much to the best live chat on the interweb. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much here. Bullymon says this. Did you see Tim Pool's video on how he wasn't invited to America Fest and TPUSA infighting? It was from yesterday. It was very interesting. Yes, we watched it yesterday and I did a video talking about it as well. So thank you so much, Texas Bullymon. Thank you so much. Captain Jax, what do you say here with the 5? Why hasn't Candace figured out she is being punked on a SEAL Team 6 tip line? Everyone else has figured it out. Come on, Candy. I think she wants to believe this foolishness. Like, you got to want to believe this. You just have to. You have to want to believe a lie. Shout out to our Lila Rose. How does Candace even know where Erica Kirk is unless Candace is being stalked, has been stalking Erica Kirk? I mean, that's what they do when they boil bunnies. Thank you so much for the $6.99 Canadian. Phantom comes up in here with the 2 Egyptian officials meetings with U.S. officials. 100% normal. No. See, you don't understand because she got the secret email. See, you did not get the secret email, Phantom. That's why. Slayer coming up in here with the 2. Candace volume is low, hard to hear. Turn it up a bit. It's something that they're doing with Candace's videos because it's low on my end. I just turn my earbuds up. I can't turn it up anymore. I don't know why. Just like when I played the sound effect, it was super loud because it's so loud. I don't know what, something with Candace's videos. I have no idea what it is. And if I download it and play it from my computer, it plays fine. But when it's live, her videos are always, the audio is always jacked up. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry about that. What about the blue plane and the rental vehicles? I don't know. I don't know, V60. Thank you for the $2. Woman's crazy, man. Phantom says this. Woman's in Delaware is a massive military air base. That is not covert at all. There's nothing covert about the air base. I agree. Like, all of this is nonsense to me. It's all nonsense. Thank you so much for the $5. And what does Avengers Assemble say? With a 3, Candace read too much of Harriet the Spy. See? Absolutely. Spin around that block. Phantom says this with a 5. It is a federal building. It is a federal building. All U.S. agencies are located in federal buildings throughout the country. Outing a building is stupid and dangerous because you know that's what's going to end up happening, and she's going to get pinned for it. I really hope that man, come on, FBI, bang on that door. Wow, thank you, Amethyst Angel with the 20. She says this, she must not accept the hackers can send phishing emails, access her admin tools, and mirror her hard drive. The feds can do that same to confirm whether or not she's actually received these messages from legit senders. See, now that's a whole nother game of cheese. Didn't even think about that. Thank you so much for the very kind super, the $20 super for sure. You'll be the stream sponsor. Oh my, she needs to be verified really crazy. This is insanity, y'all. Thank you so much, V60. And then let's go. The real KC says this with 5. Even if the theory were true, then why is she still alive and Charlie gone? Interject much? That's my question. I've been asking that. Like, why did they delete Charlie but left you and Tucker? And y'all ilk. It don't make sense. Let's go.
Part is that it operates on federally regulated waterways. Its own January 2024 resolution says that it was, quote, acquiring the rights to a paint hanger currently part of a Dassault leasehold and authorizing the executive director and board chair to execute that lease with status. So that is a River Bay Authority, the DRBA, that is executing an aviation lease on a field that sits on a navigable corridor. That automatically puts it in the orbit of a federal system.
What does that even mean?
Here that would report from the people who control the rivers would be DRBA to the Army Corps of Engineers, the Secretary of the Army and the Secretary of Defense to the President. So now you can say with complete honesty that the federal government was aware of and signed off on the plane and hangar situation. Now, I'm not claiming a direct line of authority for that. I'm saying that anyone who tells you that the influence is not there is either misinformed or lying. I'm also not saying that POTUS himself did this, but the government was undeniably involved with that hangar and the plane that you are eyeing. Not to mention, Representative McBride is the statewide rep for that place. Again, I'm not saying that McBride has anything to do with this because I wouldn't know that, but it is noteworthy. What you can honestly say, though, is this. If SUBTT has been doing this run for decades, it could not have been using a 2024 French finishing lease as its maintenance justification. In fact, your own timeline shows how they traveled to France before the deal was even made. It proves that the maintenance story is nothing but a cover. That hangar is undeniably either another site in and of itself or it is a front for something else. Back to 920 North King Street. When you Google FBI Wilmington Resident Agency, you should check the address in the Google info panel. You will likely get 920 North King Street with the label Federal Bureau of Investigation instead of the public FBI address that's at 500 Delaware Avenue, Suite 300, which is just a bank tower. You can confirm that 500 Delaware Ave is the borough's public-facing spot, but Google will tell you that 920 North King Street is also the FBI. That is not a mistake. The FBI is also stationed at 920 North King Street. They list it straight in the DOJ's 90s directory. Further, the Secret Service is not a part of the Department of Justice. They are the Department of Homeland Security. So this actually seems to be a joint DOJ-DHS site, which verifiably houses 3 different agencies and possibly more, all at the same time. I've looked for a while, and to this day, I don't see any other location.
Okay, I got to stop for a second. We need to take a second. I mean, at this point in the game, Kanye West seems logical. Let me, a friend of the channel sent me a picture from a brother. His name is James White, and he is on the Twitter. And he posted this, and this answers a bunch of questions that a lot of you all probably had. Okay. And by the way, I want to make sure there's his full handle. You can see the timestamp. It was today at 9:37 a.m. All right. So James White says this. So yesterday, I made a comment about how Candace Owens has spun off into Looney Land. And as of this morning, 277 comments, most in her defense and promoting conspiracy stuff. Israel did it, all of that kind of rhetoric. So I started clicking on the names. Didn't do all of them. I have a life to live. But every single one I clicked on that was negative to me doesn't follow me. Must had sub 100 followers. In other words, I'm sorry, it says must. Most had sub 100 followers. In other words, bots, trolls, clearly searching on keywords and then doing their thing. No, I'm not suggesting we give up on social media. I've seen it get to folks who needed it, but don't think most of it is real. All sorts of bad actors have bot farms set up in their basements trying to be influencers when they individually can't make a coherent argument about what they have for dinner. Shout out to James White. And I think he's right on the money. I totally believe that most of Candace's supporters are bots and most of her supporters are out of the United States. Prove me wrong.
That does that. I guarantee you've never personally heard of a federal site operating like that either. No matter what anybody tells you, if they say they lease like that all the time, that is not a justification. Multiple agents of multiple different agencies in one suite is not common or typical in the slightest. A joint office is common, but there's a line to draw between a joint office and at least 3 different agencies alongside contractors all operating in one place. Also, take a look at the borough's own press release from December 5th, 2024. Christopher Wray, quote, met with key partners and stressed how critical FBI partnerships are to protecting our communities. They chose to mention partners. They didn't say that he met with agents that were assigned in Wilmington. They foregrounded partnerships. That's the vocabulary that they use when the space is not purely FBI and it lines up with what is actually happening at 920 North King Street, which is the FBI, the DEA, and the USSS, United States Secret Service, and others are working together in a commercial tower. Here is the link for that.
Why did she think?
Release.
Why did she
that
read
link,
this and
Ray
think it was?
confirms that the place houses private partners as well. He says, quote, if you step back and look at how much closer our partnerships are now than they were 5 or 10 years ago, it's a defining trend. I think of significance of this positive transformation. We have an entire generation of law enforcement and the private sector working together, trying to figure out how to help each other and to have each other's backs. Yeah, to have each other's backs. So let's recap these facts.
Oh my gosh.
On September 10th, an Egyptian government aircraft with a history of flying to France and the United States lands at a small Delaware airport under a French company maintenance pretext that doesn't actually match the hangar timeline because the French visit predates the French company's deal. Within an hour, federal SUVs move from that airport to 920 North King Street. 920 North King Street has been a federal residence office since at least 1997, and today it houses the DEA, the FBI, and the United States Secret Service, all at the same address. The hangar the plane would have used is controlled through a DRBA lease that itself is nested in federal waterways. The FBI also publicly talks about key partners in Wilmington on the same year that the hangar reactivates. I'm going to skip this next portion because he tells me how I can verify this. And like I said, I did that.
Skip the whole
Once
thing.
more, go through this logic and ask yourself how this makes any sense.
That's
On
a great
November
question.
13th, 2022, SUBTT flies from Cairo to Paris to Wichita, Kansas, to Wilmington, Delaware, back to Cairo. That is already a 4-leg, 2-continent hop that ends in Wilmington before going home. 4 days later, on November 17th, 2022, it does Egypt to Wilmington, again, departing at 8:54 a.m., and this time it stays in Wilmington until November 20th, and only then returns to Cairo. So that is 2 Wilmington arrivals in the same week.
Can you imagine trying to read this to a jury to get them to convict? I'm sorry, to not convict Tyler Robinson, and you use this as the evidence? I'm throwing Tyler Robinson in jail just so I can stop hearing this. Just so I can stop hearing this. Like, what in the world are we doing? This sounds like the ravings of a lunatic. This is craziness, y'all.
Nobody burns a government Falcon 7X on 2 separate Wilmington runs for no reason. I mean, just look at the choice of St. Louis, Wichita, Omaha, Lincoln, Williston, Minot, and Provo. None of these are standard diplomatic hubs. Most of those don't even have major consulates, and absolutely none of them are known for large-scale Egyptian presence, so that immediately undermines the whole "it's just a maintenance stop" excuse. Ask yourself, why else a state aircraft would hopscotch across America to remote cities if its purpose was just servicing at a defunct Wilmington Assault Center? Wilmington is undeniably a terminal point, and the only logical reason points to 920 North King Street. I could go through all of the dates and do this, but you already mapped the flights, so you already understand exactly what I'm saying. Obviously, I can't tell you how I know this or who I am or exactly who it is that I work for. My motive is simply that I can no longer keep this stuff in my head anymore. I just need somebody with a history of doing the right thing and figuring out the entire truth. I hope you can understand why I cannot verify my employment here. I took a big risk to tell the truth.
So somebody could just write her an email and say, I'm under NDA. I can't verify my position. And you'll get literally a 15-minute ad read on her channel, and you don't even have to pay for it. You just shouted out Zillow, you shouted out Google, you shouted out the federal buildings, all the different alphabet agencies in the government. And she is not smart enough to realize that she's being played. This is amazing. I mean, this is amazing.
So my hope is that you will at least check me on it.
Shout out to the J-Wit podcast.
And verify the flight patterns.
That woman looked up like she had really said something. Okay, hold on. I got to back that up because she meant that thing. She going to flip her head back and look like, I know I said something. Okay, hold on.
Find my employment here. I took a big risk to tell the truth, and my hope is that you will at least check me on it. Analyze and verify the flight patterns.
Call my wife.
I think we know why Kash Patel is out, right? I mean, I read this, checked it, verified it, and I just want to know why, Charlie. I want to know why the decision was made to murder Charlie Kirk, a decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends.
That is the craziest.
That's all I have. I want to know.
These are crazy words that we're hearing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Why is my chair so low? What's wrong with me? All right. There. We've resolved that issue. There we go. Y'all, this woman is insane. And she just knows I'm going down. Help her brother out. Oh my gosh. And she just knows she's cooking. Oh, Kash Patel, you need to resign. Oh, his friends pull the trigger. Ma'am, you're just taking this information from a random email. I mean, I could go on X right now and say, I'm the one that gave her that email. She couldn't prove otherwise. I could say, I'm the one who did this. I sent the email. Because then to verify what she's saying, she would have to, to prove that I'm wrong, she'd have to show what she's redacted. And I can say, no, I can't tell you anything because if I do, it'll get me in trouble. I'm already in big hot water right now. There you go. This woman is insane. Look at that face. Shout out to that face. Somebody said, I am really good at getting these faces. I have a whole file of the most ridiculous Candace faces. And now I have yet another one. Okay.
I want to know why. I think we deserve to know why. And instead, we're going to be sued. I guess, is this going to be the pathway forward? You're going to start murdering more people in broad daylight for knowing? Is that our consequence? Is that like the slave consequence? Is that like,
Did you hear her say we're going to get sued? Okay, I know. I told you I wasn't going to be backing up. This is my first time ever doing this. Did you hear that? Did I send the email? I cannot confirm nor deny. But for a small cash app of $7,000, I will answer your question because of course I'm getting paid. Listen to what she says here.
I want to know why. I think we deserve to know why. And instead, we're going to be sued. I guess, is this going to be the pathway forward? You're going to start murdering?
Who said she's going to get sued? Oh, when did suing become an issue, a thing? She's already said this one before, though. She said this before, even on the Neeson Black video we watched. She said that part before, but I've never heard her say she's going to get sued over this. That's very interesting. Candace Owens sent the email to herself from an alter. I don't even think that she probably just wrote it out and just made it up. There's no evidence to it. Like, okay, fine. You got a piece of paper you're reading with a lot of words on it. How do we know where it came from? We can't verify it. This is crazy work, y'all.
More people in broad daylight for knowing? Is that our consequence? Is that like the slave consequence? Is that like, catching a slave and cutting off their limbs?
Wow.
For knowing that you're evil? For finding out? For us understanding what we have known from the moment that we saw Charlie die and people started peddling out excuses after excuse why we weren't allowed to look into this. I think all we want to know is why. We want to know what that slave did wrong.
Interesting word. This is a very interesting word choice. Why be so hyperbolic? This is interesting. Well, you know what? I said it before this thing ended, she would be talking about racism. Don't y'all remember when I said that? Yeah, I'm going to go, wow. Why? This is so interesting.
I think that's fair. I think we just want to know what he did wrong, okay? Because that email, that checks out. Yeah. Secret Service, the FBI.
I wrote that. I sent it to you.
The DEA being involved.
I sent it.
Why this plane, the quote-unquote Egyptian plane, landed into Wilmington. That checks out.
It's odd, though, to me. If you follow this story, she has called these planes jets, military planes, and she's used all kinds of different vernacular for these, which just seems odd to me because she knows it's a private jet, but she wants to make it sound very problematic. And I do think she did pick the one that looked like it was French. That is interesting too. Okay, let's go. This woman is crazy.
So I guess to our government, what's the next move? Like, are we just going to keep spending hundreds of millions of dollars trying to see how much money can be spent on a psychological operation to convince people not to believe their own eyes and to convince people to accept the Fed slop, to convince people that Charlie ate 3,000 pounds of energy coming at him? Can we know why?
What?
We just want to know what he did. I want to know what Charlie did. I think about this. It is like, what did Charlie find out? Charlie found something out. That's it, guys. Charlie found something out, and it cost him his life.
That's an interesting take.
Okay.
But it's not the truth. It's something that you just put out there. You're just positing it. You're just putting it out there. Charlie found something out. Like, well, what is it? I don't know. But I just know it's true. How do you know it's true? Again, y'all, candies. I know y'all candies are in the best live chat. Y'all come on up here to the front. Make sure we make room for y'all. And yes, I'm going to make fun of you today. So just don't be sensitive. But she's literally just making that up. She's just saying it. And then she's saying that it's true based upon no evidence, nothing. She just said it. That's crazy work, y'all.
I knew something. And whatever it is big and it is ugly. And deep down, I think we know what it is. I think we all kind of know what it is.
No, we don't. Because we're not crazy.
I don't even know what to say. beyond the fact that we are being ruled by sadistic criminals. All of us, the whole world, every nation, okay? A gang of demented psychopaths rule over us, and their solution to being caught doing psychopathic things is to murder us. To murder us.
But they took Charlie, but they left you. That's the part that, let's just say everything you're saying is true, Candace. You were more problematic before. If let's just use this whole scenario. They deleted Charlie to put out a warning to everybody else. Then why didn't they take you out as a warning to Charlie? Because Charlie was much more favorable to them than you were. I'm just wondering. That's all I'm trying to figure out.
So we'll take a quick break and come back.
Woo.
All right, you guys, this holiday season.
This is some wild work. Wow. Hey, by the way, somebody told me that I'm wrong when I said that Candace's show is recorded. And what I want to do, because we don't actually listen to her ad break, I just want to bring this in and show you. And I'm going to back up because clearly we just backing up today. All right, look at her right now. Okay, look at her face, look at her blouse, how it's situated and everything like that. And remember, this is allegedly live. So just like me, she's doing this thing live. She's got the teleprompter. She's much more poised than me. She's not falling on the floor laughing at herself, all that kind of stuff like that, because she's a much better performer than I. She's much more couth than I, more under control, that kind of good stuff like that. Okay, so notice her. Look at her hair. It's all on point, all that kind of stuff like that. Now watch what happens. How did her hair get changed that quick? I'm just asking a question. Now, surely, maybe she recorded it. Like, look at her blouse. Her blouse is totally changed. The cup is moved, all that kind of stuff like that. Now, maybe she recorded it before and she inserted it in the middle of the live stream. Okay, sure. If that's what you want to believe. Or after watching this woman just make up stuff out of whole cloth in front of you, maybe you will just believe that, you know what, Jason's not making this up. The show is recorded. That's all it is. And that's it. Okay, so she's back. Let's go. This is crazy work.
So I'm going to go ahead and take his advice and analyze and verify the flight patterns. And I'd like to draw your attention to, there's just something in the back of my mind that I haven't shared yet that is bothering me about the flights on that day that scrambled to get to Charlie after he was shot. And I'm going to call these our green planes. Green means go. These are the planes. And I've already mentioned to you guys this first one that we ended up discovering was related to, can you pull up this, thanks. The Cessna Citation that holds 7 to 8 passengers. That's the one that departed from Scottsdale at 8:00 a.m., landed into Provo at 10:06 a.m., and then it immediately departed for Santa Barbara, landed into Santa Barbara, and immediately departed for Scottsdale, landing into Scottsdale at 12:44 p.m., so just after Charlie got shot, because that's Scottsdale time. I am curious about who was on that plane because we can attach that to Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA is featured on TW Lewis's foundation website. They are partners.
That doesn't mean that TP USA people were on the plane. That doesn't mean it. Just because they are partners doesn't mean that they're the only people that they work with. Maybe it was a rock star. Maybe it was taking, CEO of Goodwill somewhere. I mean, come on, like, Candace, this is exhausting at this point. Like, at this point, so now we got murderers in Delaware, we got murders in Santa Barbara. Whatever. Let me tell you what I think happened. This is what I think in my theater of my mind. I really think Candace was offended that nobody was believing her with the plane thing when she first brought it up, and everybody was really digging at her about not knowing the universal time difference. And she really was offended. I think she was, dare I say, mad, angry, upset. And she wanted to double down, triple down, quadruple down. Like, oh, how dare y'all say I didn't know? I'm gonna find more information. And now she's just literally, because she wouldn't just say, you know what, I was wrong. My bad. I was teamed the most. I was trying to do something. And I thought this was that and the other, and I was wrong. So instead of just saying I was wrong, she's double, triple, quadruple down. And now we're here where we're looking at plane hangars over in Delaware, flight patterns in Santa Barbara. What's going on? She done brought the French up in here. And Egypt catching strays. I mean, this is absolute insanity. That's what I really think happened. Why we're watching this is the fact that she was offended that nobody was rocking with her with that whole thing, what she said about the planes initially.
USA, and that flight feels very important to me. The next flight is a Beechcraft that departed
Another
Scottsdale
plane?
at 12:27 p.m. local, and
Yo, she got
that
every.
holds about that's a smaller.
Yo, I didn't realize I didn't realize there were multiple green planes. Wow. Yo, that's crazy work. This doesn't. This is insane. Just let it go, Jason.
Plane, about 6 seats. The next
Wow.
flight is the 15 to 16 passenger flight. That's a big one. That was Charlie's plane that day. First took him to Salt Lake City for the restaurantology interview that he did, his last interview. And then after he gets shot, which makes sense, somebody sent it directly. I'm assuming this might have been what Mikey McCoy coordinated, sent it straight to Scottsdale. And I would like to know who specifically got onto this plane. And then they land into Provo at 3:31 p.m. The last plane that we have here is one that departed Santa Barbara at 2:19 p.m. local. That's actually quite late. I want to draw your attention to that. That's a smaller airplane, and it's quite late because that's going to be 3:19 p.m. Utah time. So that's 3 hours after Charlie got shot. That person is just leaving Santa Barbara. Passengers, don't know. Here are the passengers that we know came from Arizona and potentially Santa Barbara. Andrew Colvett's wife. We have a priest. We have Stacey Sheridan, who's the chief finance person. We have, fundraiser over there. We have Elizabeth McCoy, the amazing Mikey McCoy's wife. We have Tyler Boyer, and we have Erica Kirk. There could be more people.
Whenever Candace throws shade at somebody, look at what they've done to her. Like, remember, she keeps saying the amazing Mikey McCoy. She's offended that his dad said that he was amazing and wonderful, or whatever, wherever that was that it was written that Mikey McCoy was amazing and wonderful and spectacular. That's why she always throws shade at him. She also is offended that Stacey Sheridan, the chief fundraiser, the one that's over the Department of Fundraising, if you will, she really is offended that she's involved in what's going on at TPUSA. So don't be surprised if before the smoke clears, she goes off on her and says that she was, heisting money or something of that nature. Don't be surprised. So I just noticed that whenever she says something, an off comment about her name, or she calls somebody a name out of, kind of spitefully, there's usually because that they've offended her and she's offended by it.
We need to focus here. There's a fact that's not connecting for me when I look at this. A fact that I have about how things were running that day. And so if you have information, maybe you're at Turning Point USA, at who left at what time, Turning Point's headquarters. Elizabeth McCoy screamed. She grabbed her phone. She ran out. Mikey probably called her. That would make sense. And that's about 30 minutes away from the airport. If you have information inside of Turning Point USA headquarters as to who you heard, or maybe you watched an interview. There were tons of interviews that everybody was doing in the days following.
That's
that were
crazy
part of the
work.
Turning Point USA apparatus, speaking about where they were, what time they got the call. Please send that at moretipsat@CandaceOwens.com. Now, our list of Turning Point lies is just getting longer every day. Yesterday, we talked about Brian Harpole, the security guy who was not convincing at all. And he basically said, we didn't have drones because looking at the rooftops, because I wasn't allowed to have drones, right? We just were not allowed to have drones that day. A lot of you emailed us and said that was a lie, actually. Again, going back to the early interviews that a lot of TPUSA people gave.
Okay, hold on. Because I know exactly where she's going to go. Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly where she's going to go. Let it go, Jason.
Frank Turek, who was with Charlie on the day that he died, with Charlie in the hospital, and carried Charlie into the waiting SUV, he told Megyn Kelly something different about drones on that day. Take a listen.
And in fact, when we were driving into that event, this is the first event I've gone to a college campus with Charlie. He said, Frank, if you can come help me the first couple of days, could you stay an extra day and come with me to the first event? I said, of course. So we're driving in, Megyn, and his team has drones up looking at the crowd from above, and they text him some video. And there's thousands of people there an hour before the start. And I said, Charlie, I don't like this place. There's too many buildings. And but he shrugged it off. He knew there were thousands of people there. And he knew in order to minister to people, you can't completely isolate yourself. It's just like love. You can't keep your heart in a box. You got to give it away.
Harpole talked about that though. I knew that's where she was going to go, because Harpole said they flew drones at the beginning, but they're not supposed to. He said the AV team. So she's going to make that a big lie, as if he's lying, when he actually addressed it in the actual interview. And the bad thing is that she probably already knows this, but she knows her audience is not going to go back and fact check. I have the video, so I know what he said. So I just think that's adorable that she did that.
His team had drones. They were texting him footage when he was in the car. So Brian Harpole lied. You see,
I told you.
I used to lay in my grandma's bed and watch Judge Judy with my grandma growing up. And a lot of it, actually, my grandma had a bad hip. So she sometimes had surgeries, and we'd watch Judge Judy. And I remember in my brain, maybe Judge Judy made me like this. I don't know. But she used to say, if you lie, you better have a good memory. That's the problem with lies. You got to have a real good memory to lie. When you're telling the truth, you don't have to have a good memory because it just happens. So you just say it. And Turning Point is not having a very good memory right now. And it's hard because they did so much speaking in the aftermath that they can't go back and delete files. And so we can add that to our list now of verifiable Turning Point lies. This list is, by the way, we're on 2 pages. Here's a second page. It's getting long. And I'm wondering why any lies are being told, right? Brian did this interview months later, and they still don't have their ducks in a row. By the way, elsewhere in that interview with Brian Harpole, the security guy, with Sean Ryan, he reiterates, he doubles down on the idea that Charlie ate 3,000 pounds of energy coming at him. Take a listen.
So the bullet came in and hit the vertebra. So it came in and then tore up everything in the wound cavity, hit the vertebra, crushed it, shattered it, turned, crushed the second one, turned, kept going down all the way. I think they said C6.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like, why not put that info out? Why not put it out? And then
why wouldn't they put that out?
Then if it do me.
Candace is so ridiculous that she doesn't even realize that he's actually in agreement with Candace. That's how wicked her heart is, that she can't even realize the man is not lying. He's telling you what happened and saying, and then he's going to say, why don't you FOIA for the medical exam, for the autopsy? This is just, yeah. Candace can try to say that she cares about Charlie all she wants to, but really, she's not going to beat these charges. Candace is wicked.
A favor. Don't make me do it. It's not my job. And so then it got to here, and you're exactly right. And then hit, I think, 6, and then fragged. And so explanation 101. What are you hiding? Yeah. It's like I'm sitting back here when people are saying we bombed him or there's that wound. I'm like, hey, if somebody would, from an official capacity, would just release that. And I don't see how that could jeopardize a fair trial for a guy.
So to be clear, the only person that can actually release his autopsy report is Erica, next of kin. That's given to the next of kin. That's like the Utah state policy. If he's suggesting that the feds are blocking her from doing that, I mean, he's in that statement, why not just release it? They could in theory just release it. And yeah, it's not going to jeopardize anything. The reason they're sending you out to do it is because they don't want to be caught lying themselves. The feds have told a ton of lies. That's the problem. And they don't want to add to it. So it's easier to not a security person and say, oh, we never said that. He said that. If what he is saying is true, Charlie wasn't shot by a 30-06, which we've been telling you from the beginning. Okay? We've been telling you Charlie was not shot by a 30-06. He was not that damaged. I told you this. I've confirmed this. Okay? And
Candace, you're also the same one that told us there was no blood. Remember, you don't have a really good track record. I'm just saying.
And so you are left to believe that this really was a modern day miracle. And
here it comes.
That bullet came at him from 150 yards, 3,000 pounds of energy, and it just pinged off the back of his neck and went down into his stomach. Or Charlie was shot with a smaller weapon. Okay? A smaller caliber. Either or. You get to decide. You get to decide whether salad can do that. You get to decide whether you're accepting the Popeye the Sailor Man narrative and he ate spinach. And then the next thing you know, everything was great and he was strong. You decide. They think you're stupid. They think we're all stupid.
No,
obviously,
you think you're stupid. We think you're stupid, Candace. Nobody's actually saying this. I mean, again, at this stage of the game, she should have already, why is she not interviewing a ballistics expert? Why is she not having a ballistic expert explain how this works? Because you do realize that she's going with the mindset that one gun can only shoot one type of bullet. And the type of bullet that the gun can shoot has to be the most lethal arm possible. That's not true. A 30-06 can shoot a lot of different projectiles, and it doesn't have to be the most lethal thing possible. But again, this is because she doesn't want to know. And I'm not even like a gun aficionado. And I know that what she's saying is ignorant. And anybody, if she spoke with anybody face to face, not just doing YouTube research with somebody, and again, not saying those are bad, but just get somebody, like literally talk to them. Go to a gun range and actually see what they're talking about. If you're really that invested in it.
This is a conspiracy, okay? It is a conspiracy. And I was so happy to hear Joe Rogan spell out and acknowledge that not only are conspiracies real, but they're actually common, okay? He sat down with comedian Theo Vaughn and they discussed just that thing. Take a listen.
What makes me nervous is the people that are not aware that all of our assumptions of how the government works were all based on bull. The people that still believe, that are like true believers of one side or the other, true faith in government and experts, those people make me more nervous because some of them are smart. That's what's crazy. When smart people are completely unwilling to recognize that conspiracies are not just real, but they're also not rare. They're very common. They're common and people get away with them.
Yeah.
Especially when they're in positions of extreme power, like running intelligence agencies. And there's a lot of things that they do that are morally reprehensible, but totally legal. Like they can do it because they're allowed to, because they are a 3-letter organization and they have ultimate power to do a lot of like really gross things that are in the nature or in the interest of national security. So like this is the whole idea behind it. They say like this is our decision. This is the best move for national security. This is how we compromise assets. This is how we gather information. This is how we keep America safe.
Yeah, it's like the Jeffrey Epstein files. Like they're out there saying it would really compromise national security if we told you. Yeah, worldwide. If we told you that actually this whole world is being run by pedophiles, our nation wouldn't be secure. You got
the files are out now, Candace. The files came out. Crazy.
guys would probably be in the streets violently protesting. You'd never send your kids into school. You'd avoid the government like the plague, and you'd stop paying taxes. So we're just going to classify that as a national security risk. That's kind of what that means, obviously. It means that what they are doing is so despicable that if we knew what they were doing, we would not listen to them. That's what that means. That's what that language means. That's why there's been so much protection over Jeffrey Epstein, because that is who rules over us. These people are disgusting. And there's just been so much proof in, particularly, I would say, the last 2 years of that. I mean, any person who actually watched the Brigitte Macron story knows that that was a story about pedophiles in power. Pedophiles in power and the psychopathic lengths they will go through to maintain the lie, right? Because they just think, even though we're lying and we're caught lying and you all know that we're lying, we're the slave masters, how dare you know? And Theo and Joe had quite a laugh discussing the Brigitte Macron non-conspiracy theory. Take a listen.
Dude, Candace is the best. I went to see, she has, her and her husband have 4 of the most beautiful kids in the world, and they're so funny, and you go over there and they're just like dying laughing, and one of them looks just like her. It's so funny, dude.
Do you think she's right about that French president?
Oh, the winner?
Yes, whether or not he is married to a man. She's all in on that, bro.
Oh, she's all in. Well,
they're suing her, aren't they?
I think they are. I don't know if they still are.
I think they're at least threatening a lawsuit. It's like for like $50 million.
Winner? That would be if she ever writes a book, that's got to be it. But dude, it is kind of strange that the guy is dating his teacher, right?
Or when he was like 40 and the kid was 15, or she was 40, even if it was a she. Like, what? And again, this is France. They're very different over there.
Yeah.
Pedophilia is just like, oh, get your weed out of that child.
Winner.
What have you done?
Winner.
He's almost 15.
Bro, that if she does, though, she better have a hog on her. And I don't think
bet she doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if she has the body style to have a real hog on her. And that, if they release, the last thing the last thing France needs is to release like a wiener that looks like it's retreating, kind of. It will just go down in this. They need to release a hog.
Classic Theo Von. Classic Theo Von. And here's the reality. I told the truth about the.
But she's gonna claim victory. You do realize that Joe Rogan and Theo Von are not actually co-signing her, right? She does realize that. She's smart enough to realize they're just making fun of the story. They're not invested in it. They're not siding with her. They're just like, whatever. If it happens, it happens. They're not invested. But she's so intelligent, so stunning and brave. It's funny at this point. I just think like her hatred for anything, really, at this point, I don't know who she hates, is so palatable. Like she doesn't realize that they're just making fun of her.
Brigitte Macron story, right? And like I said, the fact that they are caught and their move is we're going to sue Candace Owens. That really tells you the nature of the psychopathology. Like these people are not human. Do you know what I mean? They're not human. There's something very dark and sinister and wrong that nothing stops them. They have no shame. And their only option is more anger, more destruction. And in some circumstances, people with that much power, in a lot of circumstances, more murder. And I will never get over the fact, by the way, that the decision was made to execute Charlie Kirk publicly. They wanted us to see it. That is something that truly disturbs me on every level to consider, that they wanted us to see it, and then they wanted to spend money on a psychological campaign to tell us that we were wrong for seeing it and thinking about it and not accepting the narrative. Like that really gets to the heart of the disturbing corruption and psychopathic nature of our governments worldwide. I just want to say that, okay?
Okay, just
now,
saying.
in funnier news, if you think that by not acknowledging conspiracies, you're somehow going to be spared by them, you're obviously very wrong. If you join the corporate, the experts, and try to throw mud at people who are speaking about the obvious lies, eventually you will get swallowed by them. That's how it goes. You sell your soul to the devil. Eventually, you'll get swallowed by it. Now, that's not a way to say that Tim Pool sold himself to the devil. He's a bit of a fence sitter. I like Tim Pool. He's always been good to me. But when it matters, he will always just take like a little dig. And he kind of did that when I started investigating the Charlie Kirk series.
See, she was
Kind
offended.
of said, "Oh, well, no, you're #1 podcast, and you should be more concerned about harmony." As I started saying that the donors were squeezing Charlie, like that's the main thing. This is a part of the story. Like donors were getting very angry with Charlie. And then what happened was that Tim Pool, who is always invited to speak at Turning Point USA's AmFest, they cut him because of his anti-Israel, or what could be interpreted as anti-Israel rhetoric. Anyways,
I don't think he
let's
ever
watch
said that.
Tim Pool in quick succession.
That moment before Charlie was murdered, there was a path that we were on that was promising. Now, 2 months later, the narrative has turned into conspiracy drama about Charlie Kirk. If Turning Point was involved in it, references to Jewish donors pulling out and how Erica knew everything, and that's the narrative the #1 podcast has given us.
A few moments later.
I've not said anything particularly disparaging about AmFest, but they told me I couldn't come. Why? Maybe it's because I said we should stop funding Israel. Maybe it's because I said we shouldn't be giving money to Ukraine. Maybe it's because young people largely don't want foreign intervention, and there are individuals.
You know what? I really hope. Yeah, I really hope. It's funny because I told you, Candace is offended. When she gets offended, she doesn't just forgive and forget. She's offended. She's offended because Tim Pool dared to say something against her. I promise you, every time somebody that has gone against her, even in the most minute way, and when they fall or they have a failure, they fumble the ball, whatever, she's going to do this type of stuff. This is her MO. This is who she is.
In politics who disagree.
There it is, Tim. And I do that in friendly jest, but that's the point. Like, just you got to go after the thing and talk about what's real, because there was an infiltration happening at Turning Point USA. It's still happening, obviously. Charlie was in the way. And this is relevant. It's all relevant. We have to understand exactly what happened in the months leading up to Charlie Kirk's assassination to understand a fuller picture, to try to get to what the truth is. And yeah, anyways, I thought it was very funny when I saw that happen. Not like funny that you didn't get invited. It happened to me the year before. That's it. The donors squeeze him. They don't like one thing you say. You get put on a list. Financial threats are made. And Charlie was standing up for himself. So, but I do think it's funny that you learned this lesson the hard way. Anyways, again, that's all in friendly fire. We will get to a couple more sponsorships before I answer some of your questions and comments. All right, you guys, you've heard me speak a lot about Nimi Skincare.
All right, so shout out to the supers. Y'all are the best. Y'all the best in the block. I don't care what anybody says. What does Phantom say this? Real talk. Egypt was part of the peace talks with Hamas. People on the plane may have been Hamas leadership meeting with U.S. and Israel. Therefore, secret negotiations for peace. It is totally normal. Shout out. Thank you so much for the $10 super. And the plane thing is just dumb. Oh, wow. My anniversary is December 5th. Do you think? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Real justice, free with truth. I don't know with the $2 super. I want to say thank you so much for that. Let's keep this game rolling. 5687 with the $5. Clicked on pro MTG comments on a new video that were suspiciously similar. Okay, I got you on a Nux video. Seem like bots joined 4 months ago. Guy names are female profile pics. That's always a great giveaway. Any kind of picture that just doesn't look right usually is a good giveaway. Thank you so much for that $5 super, by the way. And let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Patrina says this with a 5. She don't have anything else and spending all her time on this. And you talk about the mommy sleuth. Yeah, like that's crazy work. And then Rishi came in with the 5, says the plane stuff is getting boring. What happened to Britney Spears and Courtney Love? Wonder if she'll ever come back to that. I don't think so. She wanted to bring in what was the lady's name? The business manager The business manager was really, all that was just to bring in the business manager. So she don't care about Courtney Love. She don't care about Britney Spears. It was the business manager, because then that person somehow or another was tied to Calvary Chapel churches. That's what she wanted. But thank you so much for that. Phantom comes around with the 2. I hate to inform her, Charlie Kirk was not that important. I think Candace's mind would be blown if she really knew how many people did not know who Charlie Kirk was. I really think, like legitimately, if she could find out like the true number of people who did not know who Charlie Kirk was before September 10th, because there's a lot of September 11th experts, but we're talking about before lunchtime on September 10th, I think it would blow her mind. I think it would really, she'd be shocked to know how many people did not know who Charlie Kirk was. All right, what we got here? Just sent you a video via email. I think I saw it, and I'll pull it up in a second. I think you also told me to read it first, and I was like, I can't read it while I'm online. Let me just double check, make sure I got the right one. Phantom, thank you so much for that. Yeah, I think I saw this one, and I didn't. Oh, okay, I got you. We'll pull this in. I like that. Okay, I read the title. I see what you got. Yep, I got you. We'll watch it in a second. Thank you so much for that, and thank you so much. The Weasel with the 10-year-old says this woman is weird, fake and gay. It makes no sense. This is every day. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for tapping in. Let's go here. Thank you so much. Juki with the 5 says this. She's going to claim next someone tried to take her out. Also, public sin needs to be dealt with public. Everyone needs to call her out by name. I'm right there with you. And I agree with you 100%. This is definitely a situation where I think you don't just go to somebody privately and talk to them. This one is well past that. We're well past. Let's just talk amicably. We got to talk private. I'll pick up the phone and call you. No, this one doesn't need a public display to separate yourselves. Okay, let's finish this up. She's reading comments, y'all. Y'all know how it's going to go.
To be tomorrow at 6:00 p.m. Eastern. Also reminding you, we have new merch on the website. Plus, we have a Black Friday sale running. So you can go to CandaceOwens.com and use code BLACK20 for 20% off.
BLACK20.
That does not
That's
include
racist.
books. If you'd like to buy a book, you can head to MakeHimASandwich.com for a regular copy, or you can go to CandaceOwens.com for a signed copy. Top comment from last episode is from Yearning for the Truth from yesterday's episode. This person writes, there is a current propaganda campaign going on at Calvary Chapels where Israel is directly sending money to an LLC in San Diego by the name of Show Faith by Works. This LLC is working with churches to promote an October 7th experience. It includes spreading a certain narrative about what happened that day and a geofencing campaign where if you attend these churches, your phone will be targeted with pro-Israel ads and much more. I sent you the official FARA document via email where their entire plan is laid out. Yeah, this is like MK Ultra. These are basically, these are government military experiments. It's like, how many times can we tell you that Israel is a victim before you believe it? How many times can we tell you that Charlie Kirk, nothing happened weird on that day and it was just a lone shooter before you believe it? I think they have stretched this campaign to its max. I don't think more people, the more money they spend and the more magazines that they print at a church are being drawn towards Israel. I think they're realizing something is very wrong. So it's having the exact opposite effect. And for that reason, I encourage it, because we have to wake up to what's going on. We've all been asleep at the wheel. We've all been victims of psychological campaigns one way or the other. I mean, what was it? A couple of years ago, I was right versus left, left versus right, Democrat versus Republican. And I'm going, what the heck is this evil at the top that rules over the rest of us? We have to come together. That is the only way that we can undo this matrix, truly. And I do want to say this from my heart. I know what I saw in that vision that I told you guys I had in the days leading up to Charlie's assassination that made me pull my kids out of school. I kind of know where the story is going to end. And I would like to, again, use my platform to encourage you to take your children out of government schools and homeschool your
Oh, that's the
kids.
bees.
There is something much darker going on in this nation. And I believe that our children are at risk. in government schools. And I just have it on my heart to keep saying that to parents, to understand this thing is really ugly. It's very dangerous. And what I effectively feel are sleeper cells all across the nation. Charlie,
Sleeper cells.
hopefully will catalyze your understanding of that. Something is very wrong. And these people are growing more radical and more dangerous in their demands. And they are, like, if you were in my book club, you understand this. They are trained psychopaths. Like, they conducted experiments to figure out how to make somebody grow up to be a psychopath. And that's what we're seeing. These are people that are in power. Sigmund Freud explicitly spells that out. Doing these things to children, they will grow up and they will be a psychopath. They've understood this. Just want to say that. Protect the children. That is the most precious resource. Moving on, Laughing Cats Music Worldwide. Wow, thank you. That is a tremendous donation that you just made to us. Up until Andrew Colvett told us that we had to believe in miracle vertebrae, I was a devoted TPUSA donor and a show member. How things have changed. I feel like their wheels are coming off with shady people and financials. Go Max, Candace. Besides the pastors, the rabbis, the influencers, and the politicians on X, the rest of the world is with you. Yeah, I know that. And I also know that this is my mission. Like, I just spiritually.
This is I'm going to stop for a second because I know where she's going to go. The bad thing is that she's predictable. You already know what she's going to say. And I think these comments, whether they're good or bad, I think they're vetted because they are helping her craft a narrative. You know, she does not want to believe that the bullet, which I do think is interesting because she doesn't know what caliber of bullet was actually shot from that weapon. So I do think this is going to become very interesting. We're going to see what happens, but let's go.
Candace, besides the pastors, the rabbis, the influencers, and the politicians on X, the rest of the world is with you.
Oh yeah, the rest of the world.
I know that. And I also know that this is my mission. Like, I just spiritually know that this is my mission to help awaken, to help further catalyze this global awakening that we're having, and whatever part I play in it, so be it. I just want to get into heaven, and I'm not going to get there by making deals with the devil. You
notice that in the midst of this, and I think that's adorable that she mentioned she wants to get into heaven, which I think is just an interesting languaging, but you know, we're not going to have that argument right now. I do think it's interesting though, in the midst of, she said, a global awakening, not a revival, not people being more aware of their own mortality, people being aware that you can go out at any moment and you need to get right with God, or any of those kind of colloquialisms. She just wants you to be aware of, you know, global awakening. Okay. There's sinners all over the place. Okay. That's it.
You perceive your own safety by just going along with it. But there's nothing that could be less safe than allowing evil to continue to rule because you fear it. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get more demented. And we are seeing that now. Ev 3031 writes, and this is, thank you, that's another major donation. They divided us so that we would never talk, never think, but open minds will always find truth. Thank you, Candace, for going deep and showing what real critical thinking looks like. And Charlie, he found out what we have known all for a while, and he has connected those dots. He can't say it, but we know now. Yeah, deep down, I think we do know what this is really about. Soul Survivor writes, Calvary Global Network branched off from Calvary Chapel Association in 2017. Much like they infiltrated TPUSA, they started branching out into separate things. I sent in a tip about Calvary Global Network, and you may find it interesting. Thousand Oaks is a part of Calvary Global Network. It is always about infiltration, and obviously I can't change what happened to Charlie, but I just wish I was there because I always warned him about certain people. This very people that the world is now kind of switched on to and going, what's up with these people? Charlie was just so motivated, and I think that he equated more dollars with more success and didn't equate it necessarily with more of a threat. But Charlie did not die in vain, obviously, because we are having this conversation because of what happened to him.
Wow, she is really
Bigfoot Believer writes, with everything that you've uncovered, is there any chance our extremely unserious government will ever prosecute Charlie's killers? If not, Kash Patel's FBI may be the next. I am having a hard time taking politics seriously since Charlie's death. Go Max. I was very clear. I'm not voting until they tell us what happened to Charlie, why it happened to Charlie, why it had to happen to Charlie. Yeah, I'm just out. And I don't really care what anybody has to say about that. I would say no. By the way, they are prosecuting regarding Charlie's girlfriend. She hit us with a strike on YouTube. It wasn't a strike. We got a, what did we get? I don't want to mischaracterize it. A copyright claim. I say about that. I would
Listen to what she says right here. It's a Freudian slip. But just listen, like, again, she's offended. Like I said, listen what she says.
say no. By the way, they are prosecuting regarding Charlie's girlfriend. She hit us with a strike on YouTube. It wasn't a strike. We got a, what did we get? I don't want to mischaracterize it. A copyright claim for her sensational music, and so we might have to trim out that sensational song from the Tim Dillon clip that we showed of him listening to it. So,
yep, she said Charlie's girlfriend. This is just, let me back up so y'all can hear it again, just in case y'all missed it.
regarding Charlie's girlfriend, she hit us with a strike on YouTube. It wasn't a strike. We got a, what did we get? I don't want to mischaracterize it. A copyright claim for her sensational music, and so we might have to trim out that sensational song from the Tim Dillon clip that we showed of him listening to it. So, oh, sorry, I said Charlie's girlfriend. I meant Cash's girlfriend. Thank you for correcting me. Bigfoot believer. Oh, sorry. Elodium writes, my bet is it's connected to the Macrones. They rang the MK Ultra red phone to get you off their backs. Plus, Charlie was now an issue to them. One stone, two birds. It's just me thinking out loud and speculating. But, you know, a lot of people wrote that instantly, like they did this.
Why when the, let's just play the game. Hold on. If the Macrones could put somebody's head to bed, they would put Charlie's to bed and leave Candace. Let that run around in your brain for a minute and tell me that makes sense. This woman is unserious. There is no way that this woman's serious.
Potentially, because you were on the track of Brigitte Macron, we were getting real close talking about that MK Ultra experiment that happened, that I believe it looked very much like Prisoner 2093 could have been Jean-Michel Trogneau. And then this happens. And I did not at all think there could be a connection, but this French angle is weird. I will say that. This, like, now learning about how the French, whatever, purchased the hangar and did this deal. And I don't know. We don't know. We are just following the actual evidence and investigating this. But a lot of you have sent in that those are your suspicions. We have no concrete evidence to prove that, obviously. But I think
has that ever stopped you, though? Has not having concrete evidence ever stopped Candace? Comment in the chat. Has not having concrete Candace, you have feelings, you have vibes, you got your gut. How in the chat? I need to see the answer. Has not having concrete evidence ever impeded this woman? I mean, we've been watching the show for most of the day, and you've had no concrete evidence. You just going everywhere, footloose and fancy free, just going all over the place. Let's go.
That this was multinational. At the very least, we can accept that this was an international operation.
International.
Raymond Rohrer writes,
crazy.
assassination or more about what one plans to do, not what they have done. Lincoln's plan after freeing the slaves, relocation. Kennedy's plan to deal with the military-industrial complex. What was Charlie's plan after the Doge investigation? There is the answer. Could be. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to think about, and I think about it constantly. I'm obviously obsessed with this case. Miss Heather writes, Candace, I had to mute and sit in silence to process all of that. It's one thing to know about the corruption, but when you finally know it, it sickens you to the core. God bless. Yeah. And
what do you know?
Like, there's a lot more that many people are working on, and we're all starting to connect the dots, and it's decentralized. So, I mean, like I said, what's their plan? They're just going to murder us all in broad daylight. I shouldn't challenge them, but
it's funny because she has said that now 3 times in this episode, and she said it yesterday too. That's a very interesting take that she's putting out there. That's just very interesting. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Does seem like a lot of people are now switching on and realizing this is sickening. It should sicken you to your core.
You
That
are
means that
sickening.
You're a human.
You're right.
It means that you have a soul, and these people do not. for whatever reason. Jennifer K writes, Candace, keep going, Max. Zamet writes, Candace, go Max. Worldwide evil has no borders. Charlie is watching you with pride. I know he is watching. I know that Charlie is proud of me, and he knew that I would do this. That gives me tremendous comfort. Caribou writes, praying for you and your family and standing with you in truth. And Yanellen writes, from a Cuban who opened up her eyes, thank you. Gracias, Gandas Owens. Love that. Well, you guys, we will see you tomorrow. Don't forget that we have book club at 6 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to support us, head to CandaceOwens.com. Sign up.
All right.
Subscribe.
We're done with that. Yo, that's some crazy work, y'all. I'm sorry. I really hope that woman gets saved. I really do. I mean, watching her crash out on a daily basis and the people that she's impacting and dragging into this insanity, it's kind of sad. It is kind of sad to watch. So we're going to clean the palette. There is a video that I want to bring in. So shout out to the best live chat on the planet. I appreciate y'all rocking with us. Thank you so much. I got a couple things I want to talk about as well. I was supposed to talk about yesterday. So let's clean the palette real quick. We got Christian over here. And he's gonna break it down to us. Let's go. I don't like this one.
That's a hood foo-foo.
This one was gross. I'm sorry. That one was just gross. I don't know what was going on in that one.
Ready to try your new favorite treat for fall?
That depends on what you making.
Start with 1 cup Jet Puff Marshmallow Fluff. Then add 2 cups pumpkin.
And I ain't too big on pumpkin flavor, but let's keep on watching.
2 cups of light brown sugar and 1/4 cup heavy whipping cream.
Miss White Lady, what exactly is this supposed to be?
Add in 1 stick of butter, a pinch of salt, and pumpkin pie spice.
What is this supposed to be, some dip?
I'm going to stir everything to combine. I decided to add some pecans.
Pecans? Boy, this getting whiter and whiter the more ingredients she add.
And grab your hand mixer and blend to your desired consistency. Then I added some edible glitter.
Wow, what's the glitter for?
And stirred that in. Now add your pasta.
And now add the what?
I chose chickpea because it was hearty and held up well. Grab yourself a scoop.
I'm not grabbing no scoop. Scoop that in the garbage.
Make a bowl. Top with whipped cream and sprinkles. Take a bite and enjoy.
Yeah, the caucasity is strong in this one. I'm going to pass on the pale people pumpkin pasta, Lord have mercy.
Ready to try your new favorite treat?
I just feel like these people just waste food. Like, what's the purpose of that? That looks disgusting. All right, let's see another one. No, we're not watching that.
Bro, I had to go get my own Popeyes today.
Well, what's the matter?
And look how small the leg is.
Yeah, I hate when they give me tiny leg chicken.
Anyway.
Ain't no way I just seen what I just seen.
Anyway.
Sir, you're supposed to bite that at least. And I don't see a thirst quencher in sight. Sir, get something to drink.
Anyway.
I ain't never seen nobody eat a biscuit like a Dorito chip. Lord have mercy.
We need to tell Christian, look, we need you to come to Atlanta. Like, what is going on? How did you do all these shows and you didn't come to Georgia once? You're not even in Florida. What is going on? Now, you did go to North Carolina. I can go see my daughter. I'm just mad. I'm like, what is the problem, sir?
Got this hickory.
This is good.
You smoked bacon. Now I'm going into this seasoned flour.
Oh, you putting bacon in seasoned flour? Oh, wait a minute. Bacon don't need no flour.
Now down into the egg wash. Back into the seasoned flour.
Just how did we get here? I mean, just big activities at its finest.
I'm going to start laying them in this hot skillet with a little oil. You want to cook them to their golden brown after about 4 or 5 minutes.
I just can't believe what I'm seeing, because normally you fry bacon naked, not with no flour coat on it.
You want to flip them. When they're done, you want to remove them from...
I'll tell you one thing. I ain't too mad about how it's turning out.
2 pieces of buttered toast with pepper jack on each side. Add a little bacon, bit of tomato, a little bit of green leaf lettuce.
Hold on, now he making a... Sweet sandwich shop Jesus. He making fried BLT?
Oh, heavenly deep fried father. Now put the top on it. Here it is. This is what it looks like.
Oh, a part of me just want him to melt that cheese just a little bit. You know what? I agree with you, but just look at it. That thing make you sing like Beyonce. I am in love with you. I want one, please. But please melt my cheese on my deep fried BLT. Yeah, sir, go ahead and whip me up one of those. That man literally fried bacon. You know what, sir? Give me one of them freaking lettuce and tomato sandwiches. Lord have mercy.
Look, anybody that said Atlanta is dangerous. Wait. Somebody, hold on now. What? Hold on now, moderators. Anybody talking trash about Atlanta must go into 0-second timeout. Hold on, there's somebody. There it is right there. No, ma'am. Ma'am, you are a moderator. You're going to put yourself in 0-second timeout. How y'all going to talk about Atlanta? No, sir. We do not behave like that. Y'all over here talking bad about Atlanta. Look now, see? But I'm going to be gracious. I'm going to let you just go in the 0-second timeout, and now you're good to go. Y'all look. I need to go. If this brother came to Atlanta, come on, man. Even somewhere close. Like, you're not even in Tennessee. Oh, wait, no, he's in Nashville. Go to Chattanooga, man. I can run up the street to Chattanooga. Man. I think I've seen his he has another video of his stand-up. He looks like he is hilarious. Hold on, where is it? Right here. Let's go with this one right here.
Oh, ain't no husband? Oh, you single? Oh, all y'all ready to single, ready to mingle? Oh, shoot. Okay, I like this. I like when. Oh, wait, hold on. So, so you ready to mingle? Okay, all right. Any single men in here? Single men? We're actually single? Anybody actually? Well, hold on, ma'am. I was asking like, I don't think y'all. You trying to bump auntie cats together? No, I don't. What? I don't think that's what she into. I was talking about single men. Oh, okay, so you want me to find you a man too? Okay, I'm sorry. Well, say that, man. You can't just woo on the single. She's so ready to give it out. She's like, woo! I don't care. Who want it? Auntie, wait a minute. Hold on now. Auntie? Who's anybody single? Single men? Ain't nobody? Oh, it's somebody right there? How you doing, sir? Good. Are you white? Yes. Okay. I just gotta clarify. You know what I mean? Because under club lights, you look a little different. Okay. Okay. All right. She don't care what color it is. Okay.
What it is.
You'll try? Okay. Why you say it like it's an appetizer? I think I'll try white. Okay. All right. Oh, ain't no husband? Oh, you single?
Shout out to Christian Johnson. All right, we had to clean our palates from that. I don't know what Candace was doing. I ain't gonna even lie. I feel like Candace was having a complete and total meltdown. I'm sorry. I don't think she's gonna beat those charges, y'all. I really don't. But we gotta charge y'all. Y'all, I got 284 likes. Can I get to 3? Can I at least get to 300, y'all? Can I at least get to 300? I'm gonna pull in this video. I have not watched it. Shout out to Phantom. Sent it to me, and I would love, while we're watching it, y'all bless your brother with some likes. Help a brother out. That's the cardigan for you. Y'all, wow. What should happen to Candace Owens? Should she? No, I don't believe in silencing or any of that nature. My appeal is to the audience. If my audience leaves, then I got to come up with something else. Maybe y'all want me to talk about, Stanley Cups. Maybe y'all want me to do, engine repairs or something of that nature. I want her audience to rebel against her. Candace can keep talking. I just want her audience to go away. I want her audience to decide that what she's doing is inappropriate and wrong. And therefore, they move on and demand something different from her. But shout out real quick. Y'all give me green hearts in the chat when y'all can hear. And also make sure you hit that like button. All right, let's go.
Dubai, January 19th, 2010. Evening. Into the elite Al Bustan Rotana Hotel walks a man feared by many, Mahmoud al-Mabhouh, one of the founders of Hamas's military wing, the Izz ad-Din al-Qassam Brigades. For Israel, he was enemy number one, a killer of soldiers, a broker of arms, deals with Iran for Gaza. For Mossad, the ultimate target. At 2024, he opened the door to room 230. His security detail had been left behind. He was unprotected. He did not know that in the corridor, some men were already waiting, armed with fake passports, false names, and a very real order to kill. Within hours, al-Mabhouh would be dead. Everything unfolded quietly and was staged to look like a natural death in his sleep. It was an operation that entered history as one of Mossad's boldest assassinations. But the question remains, how did Israeli agents manage to pull this off in Dubai, one of the most heavily guarded cities in the world? Now the truth is revealed. We finally know exactly how Mossad carried out this daring operation, because surveillance footage from Dubai was released to the public. Every step, every move of the agents was captured. Stay with us. The full story is about to unfold before your eyes. For more than 20 years, Mossad hunted one man. Agents followed him in Syria, Iran, Sudan, and Egypt. His name appeared in dozens of secret intelligence reports. Nearly 30 operatives took part in the mission to eliminate him. Fake passports, different nationalities, carefully assigned roles. Israel deployed such numbers only against its most dangerous enemies, and that enemy was Mahmoud al-Mabhouh. The question is simple: why him? What had this man done that made Israel willing to risk an international scandal just to erase his name from the map? The answer lies in his biography. He was not a prime minister, not a general, not a high-ranking official, but he was the one who connected Hamas's political will with Iran's military support. In 1989, al-Mabhouh kidnapped and killed 2 Israeli soldiers. For Israel, that was the point of no return. His name would forever remain on Mossad's list of targets. In Tel Aviv, they understood he was not just another militant, he was a man ready to spill blood and inspire others to do the same. But there was something even more dangerous. Al-Mabhouh built the channels that brought weapons from Iran. Rockets, rifles, ammunition, all of it flowed into Gaza through routes where he was the key middleman. Every shipment strengthened Hamas. Every deal made the next war more real. That is why Israel saw him not just as an enemy, but as a mortal threat. And now we return to the past. Who was he before he became a symbol of war? Mahmoud al-Mabhouh was born in a refugee camp in Gaza. His childhood was marked by concrete walls, poverty, and a constant sense of loss. From an early age, he saw only ruin and hatred. In such an atmosphere, pacifists did not grow up. Future fighters did. Out of this environment, he emerged, and together with other radicals, founded Hamas's military wing, the Izz ad-Din al-Qassam Brigades. These were no longer street gangs. This was a structure capable of waging war. For Palestinians, he became a hero. For Israel, the enemy number one. And so his death in a Dubai hotel room was only a matter of time. Although Mahmoud al-Mabhouh had been hunted for many years, he was only eliminated in 2010. At a closed meeting in Jerusalem, Mossad Chief Meir Dagan presented a report to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The target was moving too freely, continuing arms deals with Iran and planning new shipments to Gaza. Dagan insisted they could wait no longer. Netanyahu approved. The order was given. From that moment, preparations began. The operation could not be carried out in Gaza or in Syria, where al-Mabhouh felt at home and was under Hamas protection. It had to be in a place where he would be without bodyguards, in transit, caught between meetings. That place was Dubai. The city seemed calm, businesslike, far from open war. But it was precisely for this reason that al-Mabhouh felt safe there. And precisely for this reason, Mossad chose it. Preparation began with passports. Across different countries in Europe, agents obtained documents under false names. Britain, Ireland, France, Germany, Australia. More than 20 passports.
I'm going to stop for a second so I don't just play it without commentary. But why in the world am I to believe that this organization put a hit out on Charlie Kirk because he disagreed with them? I mean, as much as Candace wants to try to make it sound as bad as she can. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, his critique of them was not as bad as she makes it sound. And we already had the letter that he wrote to Bibi Netanyahu. This is his craziness, man. Thank you so much, Phantom, for this. Y'all thank Phantom for dropping that video. Appreciate you, brother. All right, let's keep it going. Let's roll.
All carried the photographs of operatives. All were in the names of real people who lived in Israel or held dual citizenship. To official databases, these passports looked genuine. Then came the transfer to Dubai, not on a single flight, not as one group. Each agent flew from a different country at a different time so that no one overlapped. At the airport, they passed through as ordinary tourists or businessmen. No one lingered, no one raised suspicion. They did not stay in the same place either. Different hotels, different neighborhoods. Outwardly, they had nothing in common, but in reality, every role was assigned. Who would watch, who would rent cars, who would arrange hotel rooms, who would handle the final act. At the same time, a coordination center operated in Europe. French intelligence later claimed that in Paris, in the Bercy district, Mossad rented an ordinary hotel room and turned it into a command post. Computers, secure phones, and contact with agents on the ground. From there, every detail of the operation was controlled. And when al-Mabou booked his ticket to Dubai in mid-January, his name immediately landed on the desks of Israeli intelligence officers. They knew he was traveling alone. His bodyguards would not be on the same flight. It was the perfect moment. And so, the city that seemed to him just a brief stopover on the way to China became a deadly trap.
But why did he not have his bodyguards?
Mahmoud al-Mabhouh was used to thinking of himself as cautious, but in Dubai, his habits turned into fatal mistakes. The first mistake, he arrived without bodyguards. Normally, he was never without protection, but on that January day, his guards could not get seats on the same flight. There were simply no tickets left. Al-Mabhouh chose not to wait and flew alone. He expected his security detail to join him the following day. But that meant for many hours he was completely unprotected. The second mistake, trust. He gave his family in Gaza the phone number of the hotel where he would be staying. He did it over the phone, not realizing his conversations could be intercepted. For professionals, that was enough to confirm his route and exact location. The third mistake, registering under his real name.
Are you kidding me?
Despite his experience, despite the danger, he checked into the hotel openly as Mahmoud al-Mabhouh. No disguise, no cover story. For Mossad operatives who were already inside the building, this was a gift. Now they knew the exact room number. And finally, the fourth mistake, predictability. His movements were far too easy to track. Departure from Damascus, arrival on an Emirates flight, and a taxi to the hotel. Everything went according to schedule, without any surprises. He lived as though he had no enemies watching. These seemingly small steps formed a chain that led straight to the end. On that night in Dubai, Mahmoud al-Mabhouh was no longer the cautious Hamas commander. He was a man who made mistakes, and because of them, he became easy prey. The operation, which had begun thousands of kilometers away from Dubai, entered its decisive phase on the evening of January 19th. By that time, all agents had taken their positions. Every step of Mahmoud al-Mabhouh was being tracked, from the airport to the taxi, from the hotel reception desk to the corridor on the second floor. It all happened at the Al Bustan Rotana Hotel, a 5-star property with easy access to downtown Dubai, located less than 1 kilometer from Dubai International Airport, a place always filled with people, where cameras recorded every move. And yet, it was here that Mossad dared to strike, in plain sight, in the heart of a city crowded with tourists and businessmen. When al-Mabhouh returned to his room at about 8:24 p.m., the agents already knew he would be alone. The room had been carefully prepared. The electronic lock had been broken into and reprogrammed in advance, allowing access at any time.
Dang.
To an outsider, everything appeared normal. The door opened with a key card as usual. According to the investigation, it all began with a drug. Just a few seconds, and a person loses control over their movements. The substance did not take away consciousness, but it paralyzed the muscles. It left the victim defenseless, unable to resist. Next came electricity. Dubai police reports mention a stun device applied to the head and limbs. It was meant to disorient, weaken, and drain his strength. The final stage was suffocation. A pillow was used, an old and silent method. No blood, no signs of struggle, no cries that could alert the neighbors. Within minutes, it was over. The body was carefully laid on the bed. On the nightstand, a medicine bottle was placed. Everything had to look as if the man had died a natural death in his sleep from illness or a sudden attack. This staging almost worked. In the first hours after the discovery, the police believed it was a quiet death in a hotel room. Only a meticulous investigation, blood analysis, and repeated forensic tests proved that it had been a carefully planned assassination. It seemed everything had gone perfectly. But the very thoroughness of the operation betrayed the perpetrators. Surveillance footage captured suspicious movements. The hotel's electronic locks revealed that outsiders had entered the room. Later, forensic analysis detected traces of drugs and electric shock. That night in Dubai appeared calm and peaceful. But in reality, it was the conclusion of one of the most audacious operations ever carried out by Israeli intelligence. The morning of January 20th in the Dubai hotel began as usual. The corridors were filled with the sound of maids' carts, muffled conversations, and the soft hum of vacuum cleaners. One by one, the rooms were being put in order. But when one of the maids approached the door of the guest who had spent the night there, a man named Mahmoud al-Mabhou, she noticed something strange. Since the evening, the key card had not been used again, and the door remained locked from the inside. At first, this caused no real concern. Guests sometimes sleep longer than usual or ask not to be disturbed. But by noon, it became clear. Behind the door, it was too quiet. Phone calls went unanswered, and there was no "Do Not Disturb" sign hanging on the handle. The maid turned to security. The guards on duty, together with the administrator, came to the room. They knocked several times.
How was the door locked from the inside?
Silence. Then security decided to open the door with a master key. The electronic lock gave way, and the door slowly swung open. At first glance, the scene inside looked ordinary. The room was in order. A suitcase stood against the wall, belongings neatly arranged. On the bed lay a man, as if immersed in a deep sleep. His head rested on the pillow. His arms lay relaxed across the blanket. But something was wrong. The maid was the first to notice the absence of breathing. A guard stepped closer, called the guest by name. No response. Then they saw, beside the bed, a small vial of medicine. Everything appeared as though the man had died quietly in his sleep from illness or a sudden attack. The hotel management followed protocol. They called an ambulance and the police. The doctors who arrived on the scene only confirmed the obvious. The man was dead. In those first minutes, no one could imagine that this case would go far beyond standard hotel procedure. To the staff, it looked like a sad but ordinary story. A guest who simply did not wake up. But in reality, behind the door of that room lay a secret that would soon shake not only Dubai, but the entire world. At first, everything seemed simple. A man had died in his sleep. That was the initial version announced by the Dubai police. No blood, no signs of struggle, no noise that might have disturbed the neighbors. On the nightstand lay a small vial of medicine. The scene suggested the familiar scenario of sudden cardiac arrest or a medical attack. But the calm did not last long. Within just a few days, investigators began to have doubts. Too many details looked suspiciously neat, as if arranged. It was decided to conduct further examinations. 10 days later, the original version collapsed. Dubai authorities officially admitted this was not a natural death, but a carefully planned assassination. Debates followed. Some claimed an electric shock had been used. Others spoke of poison administered shortly before death. Still others pointed to signs of suffocation. The theories multiplied, but none explained all the details at once. Only later did the investigation reach a single conclusion. First, a drug was administered that paralyzed the muscles, but left the victim conscious. Then came suffocation with a pillow. Quick, silent, without blood or screams. What had begun as an ordinary incident in a hotel room turned into an international sensation. Dubai police now understood this was no accident, but an operation carried out by a highly trained team of professionals. When Dubai police finally acknowledged that this was a case of murder, a real storm of investigations began. Hundreds of hours of surveillance footage were reviewed repeatedly. In the hotel lobby, in the elevators, in the corridors, people in suits, in sportswear, with suitcases, and without. At first, they seemed like ordinary tourists, but little by little, the puzzle came together into a shocking picture. The videos revealed an entire network of 29 people, men and women moving in perfect coordination, as if following a rehearsed script. They checked into different hotels, met in parking lots, switched cars and clothes. It all looked like a well-staged theater production where every actor knew their part. The biggest surprise came with the passports. Investigators had 26 documents from the United Kingdom, Ireland, France, Germany, and Australia, but all of them were fake. Real people with those names existed, yet they had never set foot in Dubai. Their identities had simply been stolen and used as cover. An international scandal was inevitable. Soon, Interpol published the photographs of the suspects. In the images, smiling men and women captured by the hotel's hidden cameras. For many countries, this was a personal insult. Their passports had been turned into tools of a secret operation. Dubai police made a bold statement. At a press conference, the head of security declared, 99% certain this operation was the work of Israel's Mossad. Those words echoed across the world. Newspapers ran with screaming headlines, and politicians demanded answers. But in Israel, there was silence. No confirmation, no denial. Only the familiar formula. We do not comment on such matters. Thus, from the shadows emerged the alleged executors of one of the most daring operations of the decade. And the deeper investigators dug into the details, the clearer it became. Behind the death of one man stood an entire army of professionals. When the story of al-Mabhouh's assassination had already spread across the world, new revelations added even more intrigue. In Jordan, 2 Palestinians were arrested. Their detention was immediately shrouded in secrecy. Investigators claimed the detainees were not the direct executors of the killing, but it was through them, according to police, that the operatives of the mission obtained crucial information about al-Mabhouh's movements. Flight numbers, hotel bookings, travel details. Everything needed to plan each step. The men's connections drew particular attention. Investigators hinted at possible cooperation with members of the Fatah movement, as well as ties to Mohammed Dalan, a powerful Palestinian politician and rival of Hamas. It looked like betrayal from within, as if someone from the victim's own circle had deliberately exposed him to danger. For Hamas, this became the reason for loud accusations. Its representatives issued sharp statements. The Palestinian Authority is complicit in this crime. It collaborated with Israeli intelligence and bears responsibility for the death of our leader. The accusations sounded like a verdict. Intra-Palestinian tensions flared up with renewed force. Some believed it was mere gossip and political games, while others were convinced in an operation of such scale, there could not have been success without betrayal at the very highest level. When the investigation released the names and photographs of the alleged participants in the operation, the consequences were inevitable. The scandal that began in Dubai instantly escalated into an international crisis. The United Kingdom, Australia, and Ireland took the very steps Israel feared most. They declared Israeli diplomats persona non grata and expelled them from their territories. For London, the forgery of British passports was especially painful, a violation of a symbol of trust and national security. In Parliament, voices spoke of a breach of sovereignty and a gross violation of international law. Australia and Ireland joined the condemnation, calling the actions of Israeli intelligence a direct threat to their citizens, whose names and documents had been cynically used in someone else's game. Each government declared this was not just an attack on one man in Dubai, it was a blow to the security of all our citizens. The European Union issued a joint statement. Brussels strongly condemned the use of forged passports as a method of covert operations. For European leaders, this was a red line. For the first time in history, such a vast network of counterfeit documents affected several countries at once, turning peaceful visas and travel into tools of espionage. Israel, however, maintained its silence. No confirmation, no denial. But that silence was no longer enough. Across the world, the same question echoed: where is the line between defending national interests and disregarding international law? The secrecy of the Dubai operation seemed polished to perfection. Fake passports, cover stories, the synchronized movements of dozens of agents. But in the 21st century, even the most seasoned intelligence operatives face an enemy that cannot be deceived: digital traces. The first thing investigators uncovered was the bank cards used to pay in hotels and shops by the suspected members of the hit team. To the police's surprise, all of them had been issued through the Israeli fintech startup Payoneer. At the time, the company was known only in a narrow circle of businessmen, yet its footprint suddenly surfaced at the heart of an international scandal. It looked like carelessness, almost mockery. As if behind the flawless facade of the operation lay a direct bridge to Tel Aviv. Then came new evidence. From hotel rooms and meeting halls, forensic experts collected fingerprints and DNA samples. Forensic technologies proved merciless. Where an agent might have been certain he had left no trace at all, lab tests uncovered invisible fragments of his presence. But the most devastating blow came from the video recordings. Dubai was renowned for its surveillance system. Hundreds of cameras captured every step of the city's visitors. Investigators suddenly had hundreds of hours of footage in their hands. Frame by frame, face by face, they reconstructed the team's route, their movements through the airport, hotels, and shopping centers.
Why are they so blurry?
The editing turned into a real film, how the team assembled from different points in the city, how the agents met, changed clothes, disappeared into the crowd, and then reappeared at Al Mabhou's hotel room. The world, accustomed to seeing Mossad operations as legend, was now watching them through the cold eyes of a surveillance system. Every movement of the agents was exposed on screen. Mystery turned into a documentary report. And the more traces investigators found, the louder the question echoed. Was this a mistake or a calculation left behind deliberately? Thus ended the story of the Dubai operation, daring and flawless in its design, yet turning into one of the loudest international scandals. Some see it as a brilliant strike by Mossad, others as a fatal mistake. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.
Okay, shout out. Thank you so much for that. That was interesting. And the reason I want to look at it is in light of all the foolishness that Candaspiracy keeps putting out there. Do you really think that these people would do that? Like, really? Like, they would use that type of... Now, I'm sure the Candaspiracy is going to come out and say, hey, absolutely. They're going to, absolutely. They mobilized 18 people, all these jets following around for years, which sounds crazy, by the way. Really? Is that the easiest understanding? Really? Okay. I just think it's interesting. But shout out to the best live channel on the internet. Thank you so much, Phantom, for that. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you again, Emotional Support Paintbrush, which is a funny name, by the way. I appreciate you for the $2 super. No question, no comment. Just pure love of the game. Thank you so much. And let's keep it going. Again, Emotional with the $5 here says, can we send fake tips to see if she reads just to test our theory? I cannot condone that. I don't want it to be said that I'm telling people to do that. So I am not telling anybody to do that. I'm just going to say it like that. I can't say that you wouldn't do it, but I can't say that I would. I think this was interesting. Well, shout out to Giorgio Let's Go with the $5. He says this, hey, Jay Wick, question. If Candace turns out to be right, will you ever explain why you were so sure that she was wrong? Just curious. Yeah, I'll explain right now. Candace has given no facts. She's given no hard, tangible evidence that other people can scour, whether it be her sources, her leaks, this, that, and the other. She's given us nothing. If you want to say the WhatsApp message that she read, in context, that doesn't say what she said. The random emails, the pictures, the text messages from 7 years ago. Show me something now. If Candace can show me something in 2024, 2025, that substantiates her relationship with Charlie Kirk, because I don't believe she had a relationship with Charlie Kirk. I don't believe it, because everything she keeps bringing up is this old, ancient stuff. Show me something new. So yeah, I will absolutely. Now, let's just say by some fluke, Candace comes out to be completely right. Absolutely. I've said that about the Macron case. I'll absolutely get on here and say, hey, you know what? Candace was right. Okay. But I don't believe that that's going to happen. But yeah, I will absolutely. So thank you so much for the $5 super. I appreciate you, friend. And yeah, we'll see. Yeah, you knew she was going to blame Israel. You knew it. You knew it was coming. You know Israel going to catch that shade. You knew it. Again, thank you so much, Phantom. Candace is not right. Mossad would not delete somebody just for speech. They would only go after someone who is deleted or killed Israelis. Like, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And I think the fact that Candace and Tucker are still running around saying the stuff that they're saying is proof that Charlie wasn't deleted by Mossad. There you go. I mean, I think that makes perfect sense. She shows text messages without dates and timestamps. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, you wouldn't, I guarantee you 85% of the stuff that Candace says is evidence, she's shown proof, blah, 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 wouldn't pass the sniff test in a court of law. Most of the stuff that she's called out wouldn't pass the sniff test. So why am I supposed to jump through hoops and do all these lyrical contortions because Candace said that she has proof, and proof of what? Proof of what? All right. I like it. I like it. Yeah, this is a great question. What do you think what happens when you blame the world? There's no room to fail. Like, she can't even be like, you know what? I was wrong about this, because she's put herself out there as the arbiter of truth and everything she says is right. So she almost cannot she can't even be honest and say, you know what, y'all, I messed up. My bad. I said this wrong. Whatever. Like, she has to be spot on the money every time, because otherwise she's going to get called out, because that's what she's been doing. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much. I think doxing could be considered a form of terrorism, in my opinion. Yeah. Why do you keep speaking against her then? I'm not certain who you're talking about. Sierra Rainbow. I'm not certain who that is. Yeah, like, this is a great question. Thank you so much, Patrina. She would believe in email. Dare I say a random email. But real people, she won't. Shame. All right, I'm going to just see. When everyone's a suspect, no one is a suspect. That's a great point. But what if Candace is the suspect, though? What if she's the suspect? All right, I thought that's a very interesting. All right, yeah, that's a okay. I'm just looking to see if I see any other comments pop in. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much, man. That was a lot of fun. The plan is tomorrow to hop back in here and do this. I might have to start later, because Chief Executive Second Born has an event at school that ends at 6:00. So I might have to start later, but I'll make sure you know ahead of time. Yeah, see, the lady does protest too much. Yeah, I mean, shout out right here. Trish says this is Israel intelligence is respected and renowned and revered from other intelligence agencies around the world. Like, why would they be so messy as to do what she's saying? It just seems weird. And again, she's still running amok. That's gotta sit somewhere, right? All right, what we got? Okay. I am over here making sure we check the traps. It looks good. Everybody, I want to say thank y'all so much to the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so much to the mods. Thank you so much to the stream sponsor, Amethyst Angel. I appreciate y'all. This is a lot of fun, and I'm glad that y'all have a chance to rock with me. I do want to go over a couple quick things. Tomorrow is going to be Thankful Thursday. I'm going to try to get this in because otherwise I'll forget. I want to say thank you that we've now hit 136 members on the channel. I just want to say thanks so much for that. We're shooting for 100,000 likes on the channel, and I'm falling a little bit short. So I might be out here begging with my tin cup, but I'm falling a little bit short. But that's okay. I appreciate it nonetheless. I'm just glad that you like the video. So if you watch the video and you like it, hit the like button for sure. I'm trying my best. I think I got like 58,000 subscribers. I'm going to make a push to get 100,000 subscribers by the end of April. So for my 52nd birthday, I want to celebrate 100,000 subscribers and get the silver play button. So I'm going to be pushing for that. So it's it's a Herculean task, but I just want to say that's what you're going to hear me talking a lot about, subscribers and such like that going into the new year. I do want to also say that I'm working on your list of other content creators, and I'm going to try to have that done for tomorrow. I'm going to put it on my Substack, and I'll make a community post tomorrow when I finish it up. It's just a list. I ask you all to give me some other content creators that we can highlight and celebrate for a Thankful Thursday. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that Substack together. And Substack is just an email newsletter, if you will, but you can read it online for free and all that kind of good jazz. And so I just want to say thank y'all. You all have sent me some great things in the email, and I want to say I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the videos, the funny movie trailers, movie posters, quips, all that kind of stuff like that. Thank you all very much for that. I do want to say, if anybody is interested in doing YouTube, doing content, and you don't know where to start, and you don't know like what camera to get, what lights to get, anything like that, I have I call it a grocery list. It's not really a grocery list, but it's just a list of equipment that you can get, and based upon what your budget is. And I haven't talked about it much, so let me pull it back up real quick. And if you need it, or you're trying to get on here, you want to upgrade your studio or anything of that nature, I figured this would be something good for y'all. I just want to let you know that I have that available. And if I could see it, I would tell you where it is. Oh, it is right here. All right. So I'm going to drop it in the chat. I think I shared this with the moderators already. I might not have. So anyway, if you're trying to do, content, and you're like, look, I don't know what camera to get, what microphone, what computer, anything like that, all of those right there is free. It's not, I don't even think they're even affiliate links. I just want to make sure content creators and persons who want to do what I'm doing and what's out here have all the tools necessary. So, boy, that's bright, Jason. Great day. That's the one that's supposed to be off. Okay. The content creators can have that. So check it out. If you need something from there, or if you have questions, you can always ask me. I have no problem answering questions for you all. Y'all, and that is everything on my little list. Shout out to the moderators. Thank y'all so much for helping out. You all do a great job, y'all. If you could, on your way out the door, everybody, I always ask you to, make sure you tip your waiters and all that kind of good jazz. Can you hit the like button and type mods in the chat on your way out the door? They are just such a blessing to me, and they do such a great job of keeping everything moving and such like that. And they let me know when I leave my microphone off, all that kind of good jazz. So if you could, just tip your waiters on the way out the door. Make sure you hit the like button. By God's grace, we'll be doing this again tomorrow. So let's get ready to do that then. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Well, thank you, Tina, super rock star. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, absolutely. The mods are fantastic. Thank y'all so much to all of them. The wrenches are amazing. Thank y'all so much. Everybody have a wonderful rest of the night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Great. Whoa, what was that? Man, wow. Thank you so much, D, with the $50 super sticker. Thank you so much. Wow, I appreciate you, man. Bless you. I'm about to hit the go button, and there we go. Well, thank you so much, D Salin. I appreciate you, man, for that. That's very kind of you. Wow, thank you. Y'all tell D, thank you, man. D, thank you. Double D in the building. They're double in the building. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for sure. Lord willing, we're going to be doing this again tomorrow. So everybody, I'll see you all tomorrow. And until then, everybody, grace and peace. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.